results by the Electoral Commission. Correspondents are across the constituency for you, including the Collation Center. You've already seen us with an interview with Rashid Tanko, who is already declaring that not declaring, he is predicting an NDC victory. In fact, the NDC is already claiming to have won the elections in Akwatia. We will hear from the Electoral Commission pretty shortly. We also hear from the MPP here on your election headquarters. But talking about results, the man who, ahead of the polls, predicted an NDC victory is here with me. Musa Dankwa with Global Info Analytics. Also with me is Winston Amwa. We'll be going to the constituency pretty shortly because that is where the action is. There's been jubilation on the streets of Akwatia. We've seen a bit of that. And it's a clash of jubilations, as my colleague on the ground described this as when he was driving to the town, regardless of what had really happened. In fact, at the Collation Center, the constituents were jubilating either for the NDC or the MPP. If you are close to a polling station where an MPP had won, you will see jubilations there by the MPP supporters. If you are close to a polling station where the NDC had won, again, you will see jubilation by the NDC supporters there. And so we're waiting to see what really pans out as far as the real results are concerned, as declared by the Electoral Commission. So stay with me for that here on your election headquarters. Musa Dankwa, so you had predicted an NDC victory, and many had listened to you, read your polls, and raised questions. This is a constituency that the MPP had won in the last elections a short few months back with 2,000 votes margin plus. How dare you say this is going to flip only 8 months on? It appears from what we're learning that your prediction may just come through plus or minus a few percentage points.
Winston, once you work with data, Evans, once you work with data and you understand the data and really the dynamics of the data, you tend to know exactly what's going to happen. I've been to Akwatia twice in the last 4 weeks. And what I always look out for is the proportion of voters who are switching their vote from the former NSKUMI to a new candidate. The poll showed that 24% of voters who voted for NSKUMI in the last election were telling us that they will switch their vote to Mr. Bedu. In today's exit poll, that number dropped to 16%. That was still significant to cause this defeat. It simply means that the 2,000 vote that NSKUMI had, 16% of them is already gone, practically. So people have moved from the MPP candidate, Kumi, into Bedu. And that was something that, if it stayed, I knew NDC was going to win the seat.
Hold the horses for me, because talking about knowing the NDC is going to win, there's some jubilation still happening. I want to go to Buedria in the Akwatia constituency, where my colleague Nanabachi Yadom is standing by with some updates as far as the constituents are concerned. You're feeling it, you're seeing it, and some of them are jubilating. Nana?
All right, so it's massive jubilation on the streets of Buedria here in the Akwatia constituency. The supporters of the NDC are on the streets, and I can tell you that major roads here are blocked. Every road you see in the Akwatia constituency is blocked. Police are finding it difficult to move to the Collation Center as I speak to you, all because the supporters and residents have all gathered on the major streets of Buedria, jubilating, and some of them are super excited about what we are yet to hear. That is the outcome of the election, and so that is the picture we are painting for you to see here. The streets of Buedria, a number of police vehicles are stuck in traffic because the supporters of the NDC have taken to the streets in a massive jubilation. We'll try to speak to some of them. Let's get to interact with the supporters of the NDC over here. Those of them who've gathered in massive jubilation, celebrating what they claim to be the victory of lawyer Bernard, the NDC's parliamentary candidate. But we are yet to hear from the EC. The official result of the EC is yet to come in. But the supporters are already on the streets, and we would have to speak to some of them. It's quite difficult over here. She say much money. All right. East in far resource and buy. Thank you very much. And so he's saying that he's not going to wait for the EC to declare the results because he knows clearly that the NDC's parliamentary candidate has won the election. We are waiting for the EC to confirm that. We still have to speak to a number of them. They are all scattered over here, so it's quite difficult to identify them. But let me also speak to this man. EC nyamfa results and buy. Nemo no matia gukwema mujimani.
The Emma yete konse obia party bia on a strong room. And according to the tabulation I have for the NDC party, no, we say NDC LED because you to about an agent, no, at the police station, no, omunya results, no, you send it direct to the office. My code number, and you send to direct. From what we are getting, feedback we are getting from the office, no, and the say ye NDC LED, and nama any general ababebre eokrum.
Now, what NDC near we need election, said they are Okana. And then my ben our head will say, yes, when you know, bet me as I say, I am Akwatia.
The pen say, one the passenger, your passenger Akwatia, my moon. Take it, your pen put you. Yam pese bia obeka so ka say oh we dey na ban na power or no ko na ban na or enti yam pese oba beka say oh menya necessary equipment enti my resources bia enti man to me anyare enti epa ni say bia oba ejuma ma e na ehu say Akwatia ma mputuo na epe enyam pe individual we development yepe the whole town obia mputuo na epe.
All right, thank you very much. And that is a supporter saying that they want development in Akwatia, and that is what they want the new PC to be doing for them if he's sworn in. I have a supporter here as well on top of a vehicle. Lawyer, I didn't declare results, no, but most of them couldn't.
Oh, about the crowd, or some day, or about the Solomaya, some Tobana lawyer. You can put your Juma, you don't be asked about the Diabane to be in.
Now, Osha, a lawyer, and never been our Sabos or Bayama Quatia, who had Musa or the Beguaquem.
Any Sibanma, Omona Musa Kodima, before Babe 8 years, Omonia Shua, lawyer, the GD pass or baby Biama. It's no, you're a lawyer, or baby be our fan.
Thank you very much. And that is another supporter of the NDC saying that they believe that lawyer Bernard is going to do marvelously well for them in the constituency. Also, so say, oh, Bibi Kashoe.
But Bibi lawyer no onim kasa and our law. Parliament of Akasa said because for the past 6 years, the Parliament of Mutumikasa, the Quay Bakupe. It's a Pobe Kasa, Yakwanya, Okwa Yakadea, Omokwaya, Yakwanya, Yako from Gwenya, Munya Bibane, and it's a bomb. I say, Lawyer Subaba, not money, no, Wabamana Bibi Atoye, no, my boys, no, Lawyer don't see me, Lawyer don't see it, money, mining, and it's all my boys, no boys, no see that, and yet more money, no Munya Yeke, no more piano, and somewhere, and Konano can say.
Thank you very much. And he is saying that he is a miner, and this is a mining community. They want the NDC's parliamentary candidate, if officially declared winner of the election, to prioritize mining and make sure that the residents who are engaged in mining in the community also get proper jobs to do. And so these are some of the responses that we are getting on the streets of Bodia here in the Akwatia constituency, as a number of NDC supporters have taken to the streets jubilating what they say is the victory of the NDC's parliamentary candidate, lawyer Bernard. And so we're still looking, we're still painting a picture to you. This is the streets, many police vehicles. A number of them are going to the Collation Center. A number of police buses are also going to the constituency's police office, which is just some few minutes away from here. And that is where they are also going to keep other important materials. The Collation Center is just some few minutes away also from here. And all over Akwatia, it's nothing but motorbikes, vehicles, and supporters on the streets jubilating and saying that lawyer Bernard Bediako has won the Akwatia constituency by election. We have to show you a little bit of what is happening even from our far end. And over there too, you can see some of the supporters of the NDC are also over there jubilating. Now what they are waiting for is the official declaration, which will be made by the Electoral Commissioner. And when that is done, a number of people will continue to come and then jubilate on the street. I must tell you that Buedria is not exceptional. Other areas are also jubilating. This is the live scenes on the street of Buedria, where we have a number of NDC supporters on the street jubilating the victory of lawyer Bernard Bediako, that is the NDC's parliamentary candidate, even as we await the EC to make that official declaration. You can take over now.
And Nana Boakye, thank you very much. As you can see there, people are jubilating, and we'll keep that for you as we watch all this unfold. The police siren still blaring because often it is the post-election phase that tends to be a bit more troublesome when it comes to violence. But this day had gone really well, exceeding all expectations indeed, considering all the fears that we've all had ahead of the by-elections there. The police will be making sure, as you can see, the police vehicles there through the streets of Akwatia, ensuring that jubilations are kept within reasonable limit and people do not take advantage of the evening to inflict any harm on any individual. And as you can see, that the police are out in force this evening in Akwatia. And as we watch all this unfold, and we'll take you back to the Collation Center pretty shortly to get you the very latest as the Electoral Commission collates the results there. One of the additions this year from the Electoral Commission is that they will be scanning the results and sending to the central location. Instead of waiting for all the results to be transported in vehicles to one center, they were using a facility and a strategy that the parties have used for years. Civil society have called for the EC to adopt that. They said they're going to adopt that this time. So hopefully we'll get the results quicker that we had feared will come in. And we're probably going to be staying here till 12. We may get the results quicker than that because some of the parties already have the final results. And Musa Dankwa, I mean, talking about what you found in the exit polls, you say the exit polls are proving that the NPP candidate has lost ground compared to what Ernest Kumi got in 2024.
Exactly. What we saw, in fact, at a point, MPP candidate was leading 51% against NDC, nearly 48, very close. But when you compare the results of how they voted in the last election, Ernest Kumi was doing nearly 59% or 56%. So you could see that Esumedu has dropped numbers. And again, when the numbers started coming, you could see that NDC was doing much better compared to last election, and MPP was not doing what they were supposed to be doing. So the numbers were just there, just waiting to be confirmed.
Winston.
Yes, I mean, Evans, Musa makes the point. And if you look at the results, for instance, you know, the NPP in choosing somebody like Solomon Asumedu, the general feeling was that this is a party that was going in for somebody who's a minor. And a lot of the young people say is one who's been helping them. So you're probably thinking, okay, so the NPP wants to get somebody in who probably may, you know, depict the general mood of the Akwatia constituency. Unfortunately, if you look at the number of, you know, SHS to tertiary, you know, graduates that were voting in the election, there were more. Musa, just give me the percentage. I want to use that.
Let me quickly.
Yes, buttress my point. You have the
yes, I'll have it here.
Because you know the point also is that if you're selecting somebody, for instance, now you have an NS Kumi, irrespective of what you may think, if you have an NS Kumi who would have been called to the bar in October, you know, as member of parliament, now he's passed on, you're going to elect another person. The moment more than 50% indicated that they wanted development, Evans, it told you one thing. The opposition party, and you heard the young man who just spoke recently, making the point that what they want is development. They look at their roads and say, our roads are in a deplorable state. Now, if their roads are in a deplorable state and you're an opposition party going into this by-election, it's definitely going to be difficult for you. Two, the other thing is that currently the NDC goes into the election still with the goodwill that they had prior to after election 2024. And so it was always going to be difficult. I think at this point in time, the MPP probably may ask themselves a few questions. Did they select the right candidate? Could they have done something differently? Well, these are things they will look at. But look, the moment I saw the polls that indicated that more than half of the voters wanted development, I knew it was a done deal for the NDC. I didn't think the NPP was going to do that. And Kofi Bentil on Newsfile on Saturday said, what the people of Akwatia want, it's only the NDC that can give them. They want development, they'll get it from the governing party. And if you look at, even the dynamics, if you look at the trend, you realize that whenever there's been a party winning after a two-term tenure of another party, the by-elections that come up, for instance, look, when the NPP won the 2000 general elections, the period after that, in all the by-elections, they won. I remember Wulensi at the time was an NDC seat. The NPP won it, and I remember in those days, the NPP would say, oh, there's been this number of by-elections, we've won all. It's an indication that the NPP was doing well. If this was supposed to be a verdict on the NDC, it's shown you that the people feel that the government so far is doing well. Now, this is it. The NPP really needed this election because following their poor performance in election 2024, they needed something that would definitely send the right signal to the party's base. Unfortunately, it was not to be, and they've lost.
Yeah, I want to take you to the Collation Center now, and Kojo is joining me from there. That's where the action is, and he has the very latest from the Collation Center. Kojo, I know every result is coming to that center. It's a net center now. First, establish for me. The last time we spoke to you, we're looking for the MPP executives who have been deployed to the Collation Center. Have you found any of them?
Evans, as we speak, I've still not been able to find any of the executives here. I mean, I've tried my best to see whether or not I'll locate one of those notable faces, but no, I haven't been successful. So we can say on the face value that they are not here at the Collation Center.
Let's talk about the results. Can you update us how many polling stations are in at the Collation Center as we speak, and do we know where both parties stand?
So the Electoral Commission projected, and I want to see if you can see it. They projected 68 results a short while ago. They projected 68 results a short while ago, and the NDC's candidate was leading with over 10,000 of the votes. With the so they've just turned it out, but the NPP's Asumadu had a little over 8,000, with the LPG's candidates having around 49 of the votes. So with the 68 of the polling stations that the Electoral Commission projected a while ago, the NDC's candidate had polled over 10,000 of the vote. We are still expecting that they will be updating it as and when the remaining polling stations do come in. But the NDC, according to their system, they have won this election. But to the EC, out of the 68 that they projected a while ago, the NDC's candidate had polled 10,000 and over, with the NPP's candidate polling a little over 8,000, Evans. So that is the latest that we've had from the Electoral Commission. But just they are still mentioning some of the polling stations that are coming in. So it means that we'll be having some update in terms of the results shortly when they finish these batch of polling stations that have come in, Evans.
And I want you to repeat again where we stand right now, the state of play when it comes to the results. You talk about the NDC, I believe, having 10,000 out of the 60-plus polling stations so far. Repeat that for me.
Okay, so out of the 68 polling stations that the EC projected a while ago, the NDC's candidate, Bernard Bedu, had amassed over 10,000 of the votes that had come in. the NPP's candidate, Asumadu, had also amassed a little over 8,000. The LPG's candidate had gotten 49 of the vote. So that's the latest from the Electoral Commission. We are waiting to see what they update us again with. Their system was up on the screen, but they just turned it off. So when it does, we'll get those updates for our viewers. Of course, we are here, which is the center of action now, and we would update our viewers with all the latest that will be coming in from the Electoral Commission. The NDC claim that per their system, they've won it, but we are still waiting to see what the Electoral Commission will be telling us, and the votes keep coming in little by little. They've done 68. We're expecting to see how many they will project when the projector comes up again very shortly.
NDC, they're out there at the Collation Center in force. It would be good to get a word from them where they are right now, but also give me a sense of the security arrangement both within the Collation Center and in the immediate external perimeter of the center, because that obviously is a nerve center.
Okay, so this is where I'd love to take you outside the Collation Center for you to see something. Now, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count not less than 5 policemen here. But I'm going to take you out shortly for you to see for yourself how the police has determined to ensure that this particular elections is one that really stands out in terms of how the police goes about handling elections in Ghana. Look, Evans, I mean, this is outside the Collation Center. Just see for yourself how the police have arranged themselves in ready for anything that will come here. I mean, when I saw it, I said this was an absolute protection they are given to this Collation Center. In your screens now, on your screens, you can see how the police have got this place totally covered. And I have to add that there's a stadium on our left-hand side when you come outside of the Collation Center, and men and women have massed up there as well. So the police are not leaving anything to chance. This is what the police is using to communicate to us that when it comes to election protection and they say they want to do the work, this is it. So Evans, if you ask about a police presence, what we are showing you on your screens now is the answer to you. And I'm sure those of you who are watching us from your homes would deduce your own conclusions from what you see here. The police are here. When you get outside from the last car that you see there on your left hand side, they have lined up all the way to about 200 meters down. So, and even before you get access to this area, you are stopped about 500 meters down on your left, and you are checked whether or not your name is on a certain list to be allowed to the Collation Center. So Evans, the police from yesterday till today, till this time, they've done an incredible job, and it gives you that assurance when you enter the Collation Center that nothing can break the barrier that these guys have mounted here. So Evans, that's the answer to the question you asked me.
And when you look beyond the police barricade, and this looks really impressive. If you look beyond the police barrier, do you see a crowd waiting to hear the results beyond the police barrier? It's just because I see a lot of police officers flooding the center, both in and outside the perimeter.
Yes. So Evans, you have very good eyes. So outside the perimeter, behind the perimeter, you see a group of people massing up there. I mean, if your name is not on a certain list, you won't be allowed here. So I guess that these are party supporters who, because they cannot be allowed inside the perimeter, are waiting behind it to see who has won eventually. So there are party supporters who are massing up there. I think the police have allowed them that space to mass up there, and that includes also some journalists, because not every journalist got accreditation to enter here. So some people are also out there ready to to hear what the result from the Electoral Commission will be. But indeed, some people, I see some mothers with their babies strapped to their backs, standing there in the cold, also willing to hear the outcome of this election. So, I mean, and I see a lot more people also coming in. And mind you, all these people who are here, you'll be subjected to screening. Some screening before you are even passed to walk here. So you can tell that if anybody has a chance to stand behind the perimeter, then of course this person will not be any danger to the police. That's why he's been allowed, or she's been allowed, to be there. I see some of the observers as well standing behind. I don't know why they are there, but it could be for some reasons of trying to gauge the mood of those who are coming in to stand behind the perimeter to watch the proceedings in here. So Evans, I mean, lots of stakeholders with interest in this particular election. If you can't have access here, they will be made to stand behind there to watch how the proceedings, are going inside the Collation Center.
Brace, thank you very much. And Brace will stay with us throughout this, and we'll be hearing Brace shortly from the NDC reps there at the Collation Center. But also, let's get a sense of the Electoral Commission's own take on where they are tonight with the collation. And I see, whilst you were giving us the narration and showing us what is happening there, that a lot more polling station results in the ballot boxes still trickling in. And you were updating us a short while ago that out of the 68 polling station results that are in so far at the Collation Center, the NDC is in a lead with 10,000 plus, with the MPP behind with 8,000 plus votes. We'll get a specifics for you, and that's you see there on your screen. And Kojo, you're still with me, and I see there on our screens more Electoral Commission officers trooping in with the ballot boxes, adding on to the already the 68 plus collation polling station ballot boxes and results that are in at the Collation Center. We're inching closer to 100 now, I believe, to give us a clear sense of who may have won this.
Well, yes, Evans. As you see, some of these officers bringing in some of the ballot boxes, it tells you that we will be inching closer to this 100. And if we get to 100, then it means it's left with about 19. Yes, about 19 of the polling stations for us to know who has won this election. So gradually, we were expecting that we'll be living here at 12, but I guess that we'll not be living here at 12. We'll be living here very, very soon because of where we are. At the last count, we were 68, but I guess that by the time they project they bring up the projector again, we'll be doing 70 plus, getting to 80. So it tells you the speed at which this coalition is going, and therefore you can say that we will be concluding this process very, very shortly, so that everybody would know where he or she stands, and then all of us too can determine that we're going to sleep on our beds or we'll be hanging around. But I guess that the party for the political party that will be winning will run deep into the night because of how close this particular contest was from the beginning. So whoever will win this contest will be partying deep into the night, and that I can tell because of the feeling we got from the street earlier. Cars honking, people jubilating, dancing to tunes, just to tell you how happy they are at what was happening. If your party is winning, of course, you'll be jumping on the rooftop to tell how excited you are. So I guess that the party for the political party that will be winning will run deep into the night, Evans.
And Kojo, give me what you've observed yourself when it comes to the Electoral Commission's new approach to this by-election, which was that they will be scanning some of the results from the polling station straight to the Collation Center ahead of the arrival of the physical ballot papers and the pink sheets. Have you seen that in practice right now at the Collation Center?
Okay, so I guess that explains the sort of sheet I was seeing, because there was some sheets that looked like they are coming out of, a certain printed machine. I remember during one of the elections when we were in the strong room, they were using they were sending some of the results by WhatsApp and they were printing. I guess that is what we're seeing there. Let me just get closer to them and see what I can. Okay, Chief, can I have some sort of education here? Can you help me with some sort of education? I mean, we understand that some of the polling stations are now coming in, but are you having some of these results way before, even before they bring in the ballot boxes through your new system that you've implemented?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the system?
We are supposed to send it to our main platform. So they've already sent it, but that's not what we are using over here. They're supposed to bring the statement of pool. That's what we're going to use for the collation. So those that they have sent will be on the platform, but they need to bring the statement of pool.
So it is until the statement comes?
Yes, we cannot declare anything now.
Okay. So you are not using anything by WhatsApp, or you're not sending a document by WhatsApp, but you're not using it to collate?
Yes, we are not using it to collate.
Okay. Yes. So what is the purpose of that?
For information purposes, we keep them in a... Okay. Will you come in?
Okay, so let me try and get some education from here. So I guess that you sent some information to your WhatsApp platforms, and I wanted to understand, what is that for? When the information are sent to the WhatsApp, what do you use them for?
What WhatsApp platform are you asking?
Oh, I guess that the education we had earlier was that the Electoral Commission was adopting a system where you would even stay ahead of time to ensure that the results are collated even before the fiscal result sheet come from the polling stations. And I'm asking, when they send to the WhatsApp platforms, what do you use those for?
The WhatsApp platform one is for head office. Okay. And we are not supposed to use that to do collation at the collation center. What we use, the source document we use for collation at the collation center is the statement of poll from the polling station. So we are now collating the polling station center results for the figures on them. We are collating them together before we can declare. Yeah, until we are done with the 119 centers, we can't make any declaration.
So
yeah.
Do you wait for them to get to you fiscally, or those sheets can be scanned by phone and sent to you?
No, we don't accept the phone one. Okay. We want the physical statement of poll. As you can see, they are supposed to be here. The party agents the coalition agents are here. We take them one after the other. Then they cross-check the figures from the field for the various candidates. Yeah, then after that, we compute them together.
So the last time you projected, you were around 68. Where are we now?
Approximately, we'll be around 70 plus, because we've gotten about 10 extra. Yeah, so we're getting about now, if I'm not mistaken, we'll be having 70 plus. Yeah.
Interesting. But
you're waiting for the rest. And I learned their car is in the queue coming. They are in the traffic over there. So when they get here, we will finish on time.
So we'll finish on time, and then we can all go home and sleep. But you mentioned party agent, but I can see the MPP agent here.
Yeah, they are all here. The guy over there is an MPP agent, the first guy, and this man is also for NDC.
Oh, okay.
And this man is for LPG. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they are all here.
So the other guy, he's a constituency officer, right?
Who?
The MPP guy. The one
he's the director of elections.
For the constituency?
Yeah. And Mr. Yaro is the director of election for NDC.
Yeah. Constituency.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you for the clarification, sir. So, Evans, there you have it. By the time they project this, he says they've had some 10 more polling stations. So, if you add it to 68, we're expecting to have some 78 polling stations the next time they turn on the projector. And he's been clarifying that the MPP indeed have agent here, but this is the constituency elections officer or director of the NPP who is representing the MPP at this particular table. So yes, it means that the MPP is also part of the process of validating the results coming in from the several polling stations that are trickling. But like he said, all the others, they understand, are in the queues because there's a huge traffic that has built up from Bwedua coming into Akwatia because of the outcome of the results. Some people were jubilating already, and that really also added on to the traffic situation. So I guess that, but for that, we probably may have had all the 119 polling stations coming in. But from the way we are going, if we are around 78, it means that we'll be completing this process quite faster than we had all imagined.
And that there is Kojo Brace. Kojo Brace, thank you very much. And Kojo Brace will stay with us. That is where all the action is happening at the Collation Center in Akwatia, where we have 70+ polling station results already in at that Collation Center. We will give you, as we stand currently, 2 main candidates, the NDCs and the MPPs, shortly. Because the Electoral Commission has collated those and they'll project that, and then we'll get that for you because that will be confirmed provisional results as we have it. So stay with me as far as that is concerned. But one thing is instructive, and Wednesday, I want to start with you on that. It's been almost 2 hours since we went live at the Collation Center, and Brace can still not locate any senior, in fact, any MPP agent at the Collation Center. What does that tell you?
Well, it's very obvious. We saw that in Asin North until later on when someone showed it up there and told all of us at the time that the NPP was unsuccessful. Evans, if at this time you are not at the Collation Center, and the political parties know the results, so if, it only tells you one thing, that the NPP was unsuccessful in this election, and they do not think that it would, at this point in time, it really matters for them to be at the Collation Center. After all, their presence there may not change anything. Maybe somebody will just show up eventually and sign it. But hey, it's obvious that the election did not go their way. The signs may have been on the wall prior to the elections. I'm sure, I mean, if they had done their own analysis, they would have realized that at the moment the people start asking for development, and we've seen it, that, normally in areas that swing, the ruling party, the governing party is able to win. Even in areas that sometimes are strongholds or, tilt towards an opposition party. And Honorable Minister Afuseni has joined us. So you probably will tell you about the Willency by-election, between 2001 to 2005 when J. Kufuor had assumed office. This is an area that was won by the NDC in the 2000 elections. But after the candidate was disqualified, the NPP won it. And in those days, the NPP would make the case. Same happened in Bimbila. Look, once you have a governing party going into a by-election, and that place tilts, is not a stronghold of the opposition party. And the people, and these days that there's a lot of research to indicate what the people want or are demanding. If they demand development, and then the opposition, forget it, you're done.
But also because in the past we've had elections before, by-elections before, where the incumbent party's candidate didn't necessarily win the elections. I mean, the narrative has been that if the party is in power and there's a by-elections, the tendency for the people to obviously know, as they've used the analogy, if your mother is cooking in the kitchen, you know that you're going to get the best part of that meal. And so why do you give it to, why do you hang around your stepmom? What we've seen in this case, and I'll bring Musa Dankwa in here. Mr. Dankwa, when you went to the ground, what the people told you was development. That's what they wanted. And in their estimation, the party in power, yes, in the 8 months back, listen, 9 months back, they voted for, at the time, the party in power, right? Now, the party in power, at the time, that was in December 7, 2024, lost elections. The opposition party then is now in power with a hefty majority in parliament. Well, why don't switch? Why don't you switch and vote along the same lines you voted the last time? Basically, the people in Akwatia say we vote for the party in power. That's what you got, because they in essence say if you're in power, then you have the means to bring the development we want.
Absolutely. That's why in the exit poll, 50% of the respondents were citing development projects as the reasons why they are voting the way they are voting today. And that clearly favors the NDC. And if you look at the message the NDC was preaching on the ground, say, look, we are in government, he will lobby for your projects, and then when he knocks doors, doors will be open. And this other guy cannot do so. And realistically, look, the roads are very bad in the Akwatia constituency. I'm from that place. The roads are bad. And if you want to get something done, even if you love MPP, for the next 3.5 years, give it to the NDC guy for him to fix some of the roads for you. And then maybe in 2028, we can change him. But for now, there is no value in keeping MPP MP in Akwatia, according to the voters.
And that is what is influencing the decision tonight.
Yes.
And your exit polls confirm that. Repeat that for me. What's your exit poll?
But the previous poll, the last poll that we released last Thursday, it was 42%. But in the exit poll, it's gone to 50%, up 8 points, meaning that is driving more decisions than we even thought. And in that poll, NDC was still winning. So it is confirming what they said to us in the polls.
But this is fascinating, Winston. I'll come to Inusa Fusini, who has joined us. But Winston, on the same lines as we are arguing, in 2020, the NDC won.
But you see, this is the difference.
And they won it. Between 2020 and 2024, we had an NDC parliamentary candidate there, right? And he's saying the roads are so terrible.
Yeah.
So the people are calculating we had an opposition member of parliament for 4 years. Nothing happened. So in 2024, they figured maybe we should give it to the guy who is in power.
Look, and Evans, let's do it this way. You know, in 2000, the NPP won the Akwatia seat. In 2004, Kisi, he maintained it. 2008, Dr. Kofi Asare, the late Kofi Asare, my good friend, won it. Even that one, he won in the second round around August. Yeah. And I remember the party, certain polling stations were fought with violence, so they had to go back and vote. Now, this is it. By 2012, the NDC in office, Baba Jamal, won and beat Dr. Kofi Asare. Then in 2016, Amase comes up, and then in 2020, the NDC wins. But this is the point. The difference between a main election is that you sometimes may not know how it's going to go. And so you would look at the person who is contesting and say, who knows? Let me look at this person. Let's look at what the person has done for me. And this is the point. When Enes showed up in 2020, now the NPP had a very, very difficult primary in 2020. Mind you, the NPP went to the primaries in June. Enes at the time had gone in when Amase had defeated Dr. Kofi Asare in the primaries, went on to win with a huge margin of more than 5,000. Now, Amase at the time going in, and Musa Dankwa would know her husband Alaji say, and all the dynamics that played out in Akwatia in those days, the kind of influence he had within the mining community, Amase herself also. So that particular election showed you something. But this is it. The moment you get into a by-election, and in 2020, I would tell you that part of the reason that the NPP even lost was the problem in that constituency. And this is what actually influenced the NPP's choice of Asumedu and the decision not to open it up for even a primary in Akwatia. They did not want to have a situation where the internal election could actually jeopardize their chances in the main election, because they saw what happened in 2020 between Enes Yaokumi and Amase. At the time in June when they went into the primaries, and Amase, look, she actually wanted to go as an independent candidate. It took a lot of talking before she had to back down on that decision, and that itself affected them. Maybe if that hadn't happened, you probably would have had Enes winning in 2020. But one of the things he did in 2024 was that, having lost the main 2020 elections, he decided to now touch base. He now decided to, and Musa Dankwa, who's from the area, will tell you, what Enes did very well was to touch every person that he could touch in Akwatia. So the feelings that the people had for him was better than they had in the 2020 general elections. But when it gets to a by-election, rather, you can see what is happening. You know that this is the government in power. And look, you heard the guy say that, and it's on your screen, at the time that we interviewed him. He said that what they're looking for is development. You go to Kede, their roads are better than the roads in Akwatia. Yep. So what they're looking for is development. This is not whether you belong to Party A or Party B. Now, what that tells you, and that would confirm Musa Dankwa's exit poll, is that the people, even though you had a lot of people, about 50% of them saying they are NPP members, you had about 16 of them who had actually switched from Enes Yaokumi. What does that tell you? What that really tells you is that, unlike 2024, where you were not sure who was going to win the main election, or you're probably looking at Enes Yaokumi, hoping that he could probably do something for you, man, now there is certainty. It's an NDC government. If you want to get something, you join them.
And for the benefit of those who are listening to us on Joy 99.7 FM, the results as we have it so far from the Collation Center, and they're still collating, out of the 68 polling station results in that the Electoral Commission has collated so far, the NPP candidate has 8,101. You see it on your screens there if you're watching this on television on the Joy News channel. And the NDC has 10,461 of the votes so far from 68. And currently, that number of polling stations that the EC had used to calculate this has shot up quite significantly. We'll get you the update. But let me bring in Nusa Fusedi into this conversation. I don't know whether you were also in Akwatia at all in the last few days. Have you been? No?
No.
Okay, but at least you have the inside knowledge. First of all, we've had your agents at the Collation Center say that your internal collation shows that you won this.
Exactly. And we have it on the phone, and it's been projected to all the members of the party who are on a platform. And our internal election shows that we have won by close to 54.1%.
Okay. And that obviously is key. One thing that struck me is the gentleman, Henry Boachi, who was your candidate in the 2024 election just 9 months back. You changed him. And he didn't do badly at all, actually, because if you look at historically, he is the third best performer in percentage terms, and so you still changed him. And you have improved your margins. Is this simply because of the personality or a combination of that and the fact that you are incumbent?
We didn't change him. When you are going for elections, you allow the delegates to choose who they think will best win the elections for you. That is the essence of democracy. That's the essence of the people working for you. I remember when I won the primaries in the by-elections in Tamale, there were many people who simply said, well, they thought that somebody else should have won the primaries. Asodun Katia, who was then the General Secretary, simply answered them. The people who are going to work for Inusa to emerge as winner of the elections are those who selected him to be the candidate.
But Honorable Minister, except that you didn't say that in 2004, you were persuaded to step down for Dr. Wayoseni. 2004.
Yes, 2004.
Yes, you were persuaded to step down for Dr. Wayoseni.
Yes.
At the time when he had crossed carpet to join the
they thought that
NDC because of the crisis. So
yes.
in your case, you were actually in line, but you were persuaded to step down.
Yes.
So the moment Dr. Wayoseni crossed carpet in Parliament and there was a by-election, everybody knew it was yours.
Okay, so you need to understand that we opened up the process for competitive elections, primaries, and it threw out Baden.
Yeah.
Now, Bedu, yes.
Bedu, yes.
Yes. So clearly, the delegates who voted him were not prepared to work for him. Two, the dynamics are different. This particular election, the odds were stacked against the MPP. Now, these are reasonable people going to exercise their votes. No one will tell you that the people of Akwatia do not see any future presently with the MPP in view of the numbers in Parliament. They can't affect anything. So if you are a voter and you know that if you vote a particular party's candidate to Parliament, there's no way that party can affect anything. What do you do? If you're a rational, reasonable person.
Rational human being. Stay with me. I want to go to Nana Boachi, who is with a lot of the folks on the streets, and they're giving us the first indications of what it is like to hear the results in real time. And if it confirms who you voted for, you express a certain reaction, either joy or sadness. Nana, what are you picking?
Evans, on the street of Bodria is where I am currently in the Akwatia constituency. The excitement and celebration from the NDC have subsided a little bit because a number of them are moving to the Collation Center. We've had several NDC branded vehicles picking up a number of their supporters. They are all moving to the Collation Center, wait for the EC to declare the results. But even as we have a number of them moving to the Collation Center, it's still a busy road. You can see on my left and on my right, there are a number of people who have taken to the streets still here. And this is where they say the excitement is all going to happen. Right after the declaration of the results, they're all coming to Bodria, where I am currently. And you can see that on the park, on the lorry park, that happened to be, which happened to be a polling center this morning for the election. The supporters have taken hostage of that place, and they are over there, and they tell us that this place is going to host the celebration of the victory for the NDC's parliamentary candidate, lawyer Bernard Bediako, something that we are waiting for the EC officials to clearly confirm. But as I said earlier, major roads have been blocked here at Akwatia. Coming to Bwedria, where I am now, will take you more than 20 minutes if you're moving from Ampia Krom and then you're coming all the way to this place. It will take you more than 20 minutes because of the heavy traffic that has been caused by some supporters who've taken over the other streets on the other side. But here is a little bit okay because they are all moving to the Collation Center, which is quite closer. But then I still have some people here I would want to speak to. They've been on the street for some time now.
Yeah, many ajepa because when you kona you been a besaka tro say twen say isi be declare abano ansa na wahu de ekọ because yen nyina yenim de ekọ say lawyer be de akon e den wedding kunim awie
na say we provisional results no and it also wedding kunim na nema be na ohwe ni mu say lawyer ye de no e komra se bedwami modi ne komra se bedwami obetumi aba be ya ma manfo e wa Akwatia.
Oh, yeah, bompa say obaba be bampuntu nyuma ne ya kwan ne ade asese nyina obeboa na sa ne mani nyina ye fro no na migidi nso say oye abesiro na ne afinti no ye den a bibia be koso torte say na ye hwehwe no
high mining community yerim say youth no dodo na mining wa Akwatia hanum say e kwan ben so na wo say obetimi aboa miners amwo ha na wankasa kwa adwuma be na wo ye.
Oh, me ankasa ne dem ye driver ni.
We are driver ni. Now our colleagues are now for me mine no kwan be na a lawyer ebetimi aboa mo say de be ya mine no metimi aye no kwan paso.
Mine ni dem fan say me shere nim ho ayi biasa on say makato say me driver ni ba me sure say den o say mine no mu jai ba say on beboa na o mo aye ni se na be ya ense asase ne sa ne manema no ense insu se na be ya daachi man so be ya den ebebre timi sure say ombehwe sa ntoto no no mo.
Yeah, that's a pan. And so he is a driver in the Akwatia constituency and saying that this happens to be a mining community just as we know, and he is hopeful that with lawyer Bernard Bediako going into parliament, there is going to do a lot of things for them, expand the mining industry so that they can have or they can mine legally. This is the streets of Akwatia, and over here a number of NDC supporters have taken to the streets celebrating what is yet to be announced. That is the victory of the NDC's parliamentary candidate, lawyer Bernard Bediako. Police officers continue to move to the Collation Center in their numbers. Police vehicles are trooping in and out of Akwatia, manning the place and making sure that everything is safe. As I speak to you, we've had a number of NDC executives who've passed through this particular street. That's the Bwedria Street. All of them come in. They celebrate with the supporters on the streets, and then they make their way to the Collation Center. That is where the big deal is going to happen, and from there, Bwedria is going to host the big celebration. That is what the residents are telling us, and you can see even from the clear picture or the little picture that we've painted earlier and then right now, it tells you that a number of people are ready to join the celebration right after the declaration is done at the Collation Center. And so, Evans, this is what it looks like on the streets of Bwedria and on many other streets here at the Akwatia constituency. Few minutes left or hours left for the EC to declare the results, and then when that is done, we'll bring you back to the streets where every single joy or excitement is going to take place.
Okay, we're going to. And that there is my colleague, Wachiyadom, giving us a very latest from the community there in Akwatia. The action is still at the Collation Center, where my colleague, Kojo Brace, will join us with the very latest on what the Electoral Commission has collated so far. As we inch close to 100 polling station results, we are waiting for a total of 120. And that will give us a clear picture who has won this definitively. And we'll bring that to you when we have it. Joining me right now is Gary Nimako, who is the Director of Legal Affairs with the NPP. He joins me in the studio together with his very good friend, Unusa Fuseni, also a lawyer. And they're seated close to each other. I'm grateful that the two of them could join me on set. You have here with me also Musa Dankwa, who had done the exit polls and had predicted at the back of that the MPP was going to lose this with quite some margin. As it's turning out, Winston is with me still, and since Gary just joined us, I want to get him in. Gary, give me your reaction to the day.
Well, it was good evening to you. Good evening to my senior, my good friend, my brother, Honorable Nisa Husseini. Musa Dankwa has been a very bad man. He's been doing predictions against the party.
Yes.
Winston is my brother. We've been working together for a long time. But hey, let me tell you something. Something is really intriguing that I think I want to put to the fore. You know, I was a lawyer in this case. You know that.
Yes.
And a lawyer on the other side, that is Bernard Bediako. He's the one who is said to have won the elections. This is a lawyer that came to court, vindicating his client's grievances that he has won the elections, even though the client lost by over 2,000 votes. This is a lawyer, the same lawyer, that came to court in Koforodia.
Yeah.
In fact, if you come to my office, this is the single biggest case, apart from the 2010 case, 2011 case of Methodist University. You will find huge files in the office. Akwatia case. Because you have to Koforodia, you have Supreme Court 1, Supreme Court 2. There were times I was sending a lot of information to my good friend, Honorable University Fuseni, who look, he's my best friend. I will not lie about it. You can go to hell if you want to lie. I should lie about it.
No.
I was sending information about the case whilst he was on City TV.
Yeah.
And this man came to court, Bernard Bediako, MP elect. Has he won the elections anyway? Has he won the elections?
He's won.
It's won. Okay, fine.
Well, not officially.
Not officially.
The Electoral Commission hasn't declared it
Yet, yeah.
We're still waiting for that.
Fine, but you know, this studio is a studio that from Kaba days.
Yeah.
We come here and we spend all night here and we'll know who has won, who has lost in this studio.
Yes, we'll know that.
So me, I know the credibility of the studio.
Absolutely.
I know.
Yeah.
So if you have lost, we have lost.
Yeah. And you should know by now because of the party
internal. I will not make any comment. I say if you have lost, we have lost.
We'll take
but
that.
the point I want to make is simple. That the lawyer had come to court, went to court, filed a petition. On the back of the petition, filed an ex-party application for injunction application to injunct my client, Ernest Yakomi, from going to Parliament without notice to him. And then secure the ex-party injunction. Post securing the injunction, he was never served. All we heard was the news that there was a matter in the public domain, WhatsApp and all that he has been. There's an injunction ordered by a judge in Koforodia. I said, well, it brought my attention. I went to court to Koforodia. Let's try and see whether we can set the order aside. We went to court, try to set the order aside. Then the court and the lawyer was now saying that, oh, they heard Bosma Asare making media interview. Listen to me carefully. That they have gazetted XYZ and Akwatia was part of it. And so therefore, Akwatia has been gazetted.
Okay.
Without showing any gazette. Any gazette. And the judge says that the mere fact that they are showing publication is as good as citing the gazette. And so therefore, you granted the injunction. Justice Amadehe of the High Court, now elevated to the Court of Appeal. Fast track forward. This person now dies. The Supreme Court, upon series of applications that went to the High Court to stop what you are doing, he never stopped. The Shurarai, prohibition, whatever, they were never stopped. But the Supreme Court said, please, you ought to have adhered to at least a single application that filed by Gary Mako and then quash everything that was happening at the court. And then now the lawyer who was now fighting for the client, all we hear is that the lawyer now is now going to now contest the seat with his own client, the petitioner in the case. Evans, the petitioner in the case. So the lawyer was fighting for himself or the client's interest. Because I knew at a point in time that the client itself was tired because I'm a procedural lawyer. So I'll keep on filing papers in court and you make mistakes. And only so he knows. I'll file and you make mistake and I'll get you. Then now the client says that I'm tired. The lawyer said, no, let's keep on pushing. Supreme Court, when they lost Supreme Court on the contempt. The prohibition too was granted to us. Less than 6 days, 7 days, the guy had died. Somebody said, I don't believe it's superstition too much. The point I'm making is that what was my brother, Benabidi Akun, the junior lawyer's interest in this whole case? Was he fighting his own client's interests? Or he was fighting the client's interests? Because the ethics of the bar is so clear. A client will hire you to do his case for him. And then you go and contest elections with the client in your primaries. In your primaries. Look, Evans, do you know that me, NDC Collation elections, near March Day,
yeah,
against Zenato Ajimaro.
Yeah.
It was an NDC internal matter. I went and I was fighting for near March Day. Was it 2015 or 2013 or something? The year. It went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court. The point I'm making is that sometimes fidelity to the law and conscience, equity, to prick you that, how do you go and contest your own client in the primaries? So clearly, Bernard has made me aware. And I told him, when he came to the court of Furudia and the Supreme Court, I asked him, Bernard, I think you have an interest in this seat. Because the client kept telling me, and the people started telling me that, the gentleman has interest in the case, on the seat itself. He wants to contest himself. They said, no, it's not possible. He cannot do it. He cannot do it. And now here we are. He's going to do it. And they said that he has won.
That only did far better than the man that he was representing.
So it means that he himself realized that the man could not win the seat. Because the man won the seat with over 4,000 votes. Look at the Gazette. Over 2,000 votes he lost. So probably they realized that the man cannot win the seat. So let us fight this guy. And let me tell you, the man said that, he said that he want to resign from parliament. Are you aware?
Said that?
Yes.
He told you that?
Said he was tired.
Because of
the harassment they were doing to him at the constituency. He was tired. He wants to resign from parliament and go and stay at home. Look, let me tell you. For me, I live with my conscience. You know I'm an ex-seminarian. I went to a Catholic school to become a Catholic priest. Ask my people who were with me at the seminary, they will tell you. We are a Catholic priest. I'll tell the truth to you, and the truth will set me free. The gentleman was harassed and over-harassed. The point was made very clear. You can win the seat, all right.
So why did he stay on if he wanted to resign? What convinced him to stay on?
6 days he died.
After he had wanted to resign?
Yes.
After he had expressed the wish to resign?
6 days he died. He died. 6 days he died.
So he died before he could actualize his wish to resign?
Yes, 6 days he died. 6 days he died. He said he was tired. Look, my brother, what has happened to me is a very serious matter. And all that I want us all to reflect about is that these worldly things, where are we taking them to? Where are we taking them to? You want a seat, you want this, you want that. And so, you might look at the humanity. That to me is more important.
Okay, and there's a lot more we're going to unpacking once we get the real result from the Electoral Commission. But Inusa Fuseniki, give me your quick thoughts on that? I mean, the dynamics are obviously interesting. The lawyer who represented the former...
I sympathize with the Gary Namaku and the sentiments he has expressed. I also think that it's proper for us to extend our condolence to the family of Ernest Kumi. But I have been in Parliament for close to 17 years. Yeah. I've contested elections 4 times. Being in Parliament is taxing. It's exhausting.
And for yesterday, I was commenting to you that you look very relaxed.
Yes. After all this, you are now done you with court cases, High Court, Supreme Court, High Court, Supreme Court.
And so, when a person loses his life in circumstances such as Ernest Kumi, a former member of Parliament will immediately think that it's the pressure of Parliament that has gotten to him. That's why and you were reporting from Parliament.
Yeah.
That's why when you go to Parliament today and subject the people to medical examination, most of them will be suffering from high blood pressure.
You're right.
It's not easy. And added to this matter is a challenge to an election. You go through an election process. Itself very challenging. You are declared winner, and the declaration is still challenged, and you have to look for resources, retain a lawyer, continue to spend money. You definitely ask yourself whether it is worth it to continue to be in Parliament. So I sympathize, and I agree with you. But the election 2024, Gary, was a different set of ball game. If Ernest Kumi had not died, there was no way Bediako, or what's his name? Bedu would have contested the seat. Because that election had been concluded.
But the case was not concluded.
No, the election had been concluded.
The case, you are still in court.
And,
the Supreme Court was concluded.
And the candidate was the one identified as the candidate.
But the case at the High Court, were to go back to the High Court to continue with the case.
So if
who won and who lost.
So if Ernest had not died,
yes,
Bedu would not have been a candidate.
Exactly. So why do you Bedu contest his own client?
Now, so immediately you bring in the matter of death. You know that is regulated in terms of Parliament. That is regulated by the Constitution. A by-election has to be held, and the by-election again throws up different set of considerations.
His client.
Yes, I know, but it's a different set of considerations.
It's his client.
Now, so the party opens nominations.
The party
cannot disqualify the lawyer on the grounds that he was a client to the former.
Let me look at you. May God bless former Greater Accra Arena chairman. That is Adekoka.
Mm-hmm.
Adekoka disqualified Zenato Ajima Rollins when we're dealing with Zenato case because he had no voter ID card.
But
these are the principles.
No.
You see,
and the point you want to make is
these are the principles. When
there's no principle that says that a lawyer cannot contest
against his own client. His own client.
There's no principle.
On the same case.
No, there's no principle.
On the same seat.
When the case is still live.
It's still live. The same case. It's still live.
The case technically died.
It didn't die.
When Ernest Kumi died. Technically.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
Yeah, but
and so when Ernest Kumi died, if the party had taken a decision that they would represent the candidate who contested the 2024 election, that would have been a different matter. But the party opened nominations.
But the party did not believe that the candidate will win. Is that the case?
We have won. So that's
you see?
The candidate has won. The candidate has won. We wanted the seat. And we got a candidate who has won the seat.
No, the candidate who you think can win the seat for you.
Yes.
However, the candidate breaching ethical values.
There's no ethical rules here.
There are political rules which govern
contesting
his own clients.
Yeah.
Evans, his own client over the same subject matter.
But here's
the same seat.
Here's the thing, Musa Dankwa, did these dynamics play any role at all in the outcome?
I doubt.
No.
When you went to the ground, did the residents, the voters evaluate this?
In fact, I mean, the issues they were campaigning vigorously on the last minute, the sympathy was near 5%.
Okay. Those who said they'll vote for the MP because they have lost an incumbent.
5%.
Okay, so that's insignificant.
And you can't pivot your campaign on a 5% number to win. It's just...
I don't know. Let me just ask a question.
Okay, please.
When you went to do your research, did you discern any campaign message from the MPP?
There was, but it was repulsive. There were people who were saying to us that the candidates seemed to be too much interested in Galamsey, in mining.
So when you say interested, what do they mean?
He was trying to say that, okay, he will promote sensible or...
responsible mining.
Okay, so that is the MPP candidate?
Yeah, mining jobs and that, But people feared that their children wouldn't see him as a role model. Akwatia is almost 62% senior high graduate and tertiary graduate. So the constituency physically, it's not illiterate or those who are in the miniature job of mining.
In fact, just to be clear, the Ghana Statistical Service puts the literacy rate at 77.2%.
It's high.
That's significant.
Yeah.
So they actually gave Akwatia something that doesn't represent them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he didn't represent that.
He didn't.
So if I may ask you, are you saying that the candidate was projecting irresponsible mining?
No. Let me conclude. The lady said
clarify
that.
the point so that we all understand on the point because now we are being viewed live.
They were saying that, look.
Yes.
Edes Kumi was potential lawyer.
Okay.
He passed. Then they gave them somebody who is into mining. MPP got him appointed much earlier. Then NDC presented a lawyer. She was saying that, or they were telling us that, if you want a role model for the constituency, who would that role model be?
Okay, so the lawyer tag was powerful.
Because, see, I come from Akwatia, one of the key electoral areas. It is
okay, so you actually come from Akwatia?
Yes, I come from Akwatia.
Okay.
The people want to encourage their kids not to go into Galamsey after junior high.
What about mining? Because Galamsey is different from mining.
Look, in that area, they're all the same there.
But
no. Actually, my question, Winston.
Hold on. But Akwatia, what do you say Akwatia? But Amase was from Akwatia. He was not a lawyer. She was not a lawyer. She was not a.
You see,
she was not a minor.
No, you
didn't she win the elections?
Every election is the same.
Yeah.
Demography don't stay the same. It is changing. Did you know the demography of Akwatia in 2016 when she won? You don't know. No, Akwatia is now heavily educated.
Now, let me just make this point. And
I'll come to you. I know you have a point.
Let's just say, Winston, I was saying that now NDC went to Akwatia with a message, and the message was clear, and anybody, even on this platform, it has been articulated. That look, you have a micro minority in parliament. You are looking for development. President John Dramani Mahama is the president. He has come out with a vision. You want your rules to be fixed. It is better to send somebody to parliament who will sit with John Dramani Mahama's party and work with John Dramani Mahama to meet your felt needs. Does it make sense?
It does.
Now,
hold on.
MPP,
Hold on.
MPP.
I'll come to it, definitely.
MPP,
let him run.
What was the message? I'm not talking about the candidate. What message did they give to the people to retain the seat? I didn't see one. I didn't hear them talk about...
A second, did you get the NDC MPP's message?
No.
Because to be fair to what Inusa is saying, anytime I heard the MDC campaign, they made the point.
The point?
That will bring a development because we are in power.
Oh, what?
What was the NPP's equivalent?
Your Honor, there was no message.
Gary, can you enlighten
it's
us?
not supposed to be equitable, fair, according to the principles of the Constitution. It's fair. You develop across the country. So what are you talking about?
Look.
And in any event, if you are talking if you are talking about, look, hold on. If you are talking about what we just said.
Yes.
What we just said.
Yes.
You have been
a minister before.
Minister before.
Yes.
Former minister before.
Yes.
Did they appoint you to any office?
Who?
As we speak now.
No.
So, what are you saying?
I mean, are you saying that there was no guarantee?
There's a guarantee.
No.
No. On the side of the party with the majority.
So let me tell you.
It gives him a bit more sway.
Exactly. No, but the swaying they are swaying is only political talk.
No, but you see, Evans,
you don't get it. Evans, he doesn't get it.
Innocent, just a second. I want to hear.
The point that Gary should understand is that in a by-election, always the incumbent government goes in with a promise of development. And it's up to the people to find out. And for some reason, the people bought into the government's campaign. Now, the campaign message was simple. If you vote for Bedu, what you would have is that you would have development.
Yeah.
We are the party in government. He is a member of parliament. He can walk to a minister and say, I need development in this place.
It's facade.
Yeah, but what about it?
No.
So you see, this is the point.
You don't get it.
This is the point. And while you may say that it's a facade, this is the point.
Yeah.
While they were talking about development, Musa Dankwa says that it was the drip machines that were bought, that they were using to do the development.
Yeah.
Now, those machines were on the ground working. You probably would say,
even today they were on the ground.
They were ground working. Now you'd say, okay, but you know, governments do this all the time. It only tells you one thing. And the bit about I must say, now in 2011, right? In 2011, I was in Akwatia. I was in Akwatia for the NPP's primaries. At the time, Dr. Kofi Asare, okay, was the incumbent member of parliament. It was a popular acclamation. He was going through acclamation. But when I got to Akwatia at the time, Kate Jemfua, who was the NPP's women organizer before being made deputy national women organizer, spoke before Dr. Kofi Asare.
Please stay with me, Winston. Please pause for a second, because I want to take you back to the Collation Center there, where my colleague Kojo Brace is standing by. Kojo, the last time you updated us, we're at 68 polling center results. What do we know now as far as the collation of more results from the polling stations are concerned? Where are we?
Confirm that more results are coming in.
I can confirm that more results are coming in, but what the EC has not done for us is to project the Excel sheet again for us to see where we are in terms of the number of police stations that have come in and how the numbers are looking. What they are doing is to be collating the results as they come into their console. I'm sure they want to get a certain number of police stations before they can project it back again. So as we said, we can just estimate that we may be doing a little over 80, but until it's projected, we might not know exactly how many polling stations that they've collected so far here. So that's the update. They've not projected it again for us to see exactly how many stations have come and what the numbers are looking at. But I can say that the numbers keep coming, and therefore we might. But by the understand the project, you might be doing between 80 and 90 polling stations, Evans.
And I still need to return to that subject of the whereabouts of the MPP agents. Do you have any clarity? Have they showed up now?
So, earlier we were shown one guy. If the camera can capture this guy here in this white, we understand is the agent for the MPP. This guy, I'm told that he is the director of elections for the constituency, and he is standing in for the MPP at this collation. We were told earlier that Yao Befi was here, but he left, and we've not seen any national figure being at this present collation. But you can, we've been pointed to one person who we are told is their constituency elections director here. But the NDC had Rashid Tanko computer here. Even as we speak, I've seen Kobe Woyome, who is a member of parliament, also here, as you can see on the screens now. So the NDC really has brought to this collation center people from national members of parliament to oversee this collation. But to the NPP, we can only confirm that someone, I'm told, is their election, the constituency elections officer is the one representing them here. Evans.
And let's hear from the NPP's member of parliament who's there with you. Clearly, they've deployed the big guns to the collation center, and of course, going into this, the NPP also deployed big guns to the constituency to campaign. And you think that collation center policing is the ultimate. At the end of the day, if you don't police the collation, you may be in trouble. So you were expecting to see some of the big guns there. We don't have that. The NDC obviously still has their big guns there. They are still policing this, although we know that their own internal collation suggests that they won this pretty comfortably.
Yeah. I mean, let me try and find out from Kobe Women. Apparently, Rashid Tanko computer is still in the house. So, the point you make about policing the resort, even here at the collation center, it's quite instructive. Mr. Women, you've been here since morning. I spoke to you earlier.
Yes.
You've been through the process till this time. We've not been able to identify your counterpart from the MPP in terms of from the national here at the coalition as we speak. But how important is it for you, the NDC, to police this resort to this particular point and to ensure that the EC declares your candidate as the one duly elected to be the member of parliament for Akwatia?
Well, thank you once again, and good evening to your viewers out there. I think being here, even at this time, is to ensure that our rank and file, the people of Akwatia who have voted for the NDC do not get disappointed. I mean, we value them so much. I mean, that is why we're all here. And for the cry and the call, which I believe we have heeded to, must end up with some joy and not in a manner where we get shocked or disappointed. We all know what happens when you don't police your election process properly. So I think it's in the interest of our people for whom we have come, and so that at the end of the day, we can also pat our backs and show this as having done well. So I think that is what we're doing.
But your system has already told you that you've won. Absolutely. Why not go home and sleep?
No, until it is finally declared. You don't rest. That one. Though we have what we have, I mean, ours is just as a control or a check. But then there would be a need for the EC to come out officially. And that's when probably our people will begin to jubilate, because I know some people are waiting just to hear the EC pronounce the winner, whom we already know anyway. Then, I mean, you give them the freedom to at least enjoy themselves and be happy that we have fought a good fight and have really won. And this constituency will see a very unprecedented development.
You say unprecedented, so they'll be backing by it.
Because the truth of the matter is that if you have watched carefully how the common fund used to be disbursed this time around, you realize that His Excellency the President has ordered that no deduction of source anymore. Every money due every assembly be sent to the assembly. So then it gives them that room for them to decide how to go about their projects prioritize what they want and all that.
That's applicable to all assemblies.
Absolutely.
Not because
that
of
alone, no, that alone should tell you that there will be much to be expected so far as the assemblies work this time around.
But my argument is that even if they had voted for, if they vote for an MPP person, they will still get those sort of development coming in. There's nothing special about it.
In addition to that, if you had allowed me to learn that, in addition to that, this man that has been elected now has the ears, okay, of his colleagues, ministers. All right, his colleagues, party faithful who are in various positions. And you know the importance of lobbying. And lobbying in itself is an art. And then your position or your stature also adds to how you are able to. Okay, so all of that come to play. And so per the position and who he is currently, after the pronunciation of the EC, gives him that leverage.
How many times have you done in Parliament?
I've been in Parliament for 16 years.
So are you saying that for the past 8 years when you were in opposition, there was no single project that you could get to your people from government?
In fact, that's a very good and very useful question. In fact, I had to do a lot by myself and lobby through a lot of other NGOs. Now, letters were written, for instance, the roads in my constituency that I needed to be done for my people. Anytime it rains, it becomes difficult for my constituents to really go about their normal, chores and activities, farm, markets, and all that. Even for students to be able to go to school and back are quite challenging. And so after a while, I included some chiefs and some key opinion leaders have traveled several times to the minister then of roads and highways. He receives us, and anytime we go, he receives us, promises, and nothing gets done. We've even been to the seat of government to speak about some of the challenges confronting us. They will receive you all right, but nothing gets done.
So you're saying that
all it is that personally, if I compare the situation of 8 years in opposition to when I was or when my government was in power, clearly I will tell you that I did so much, and the bulk of all the developments that are taking place in my place were the first 8 years. So if you juxtapose how I experienced whilst in Parliament, the two situations, having your party in power and then not having your party in power, and you being in Parliament operating from the opposition angle, you try all that you could, even sometimes try to lobby your own colleague, member of Parliament who is on the other aisle, to try to see, the opposite aisle, to try to see whether some positives would probably reflect in your constituency. But they never got done.
Isn't this a development that you should use Parliament to try to fight? That we are all in a country, we all pay taxes, yet when it comes to disputing the cake, you say that you're going to look at the people who belong to your party to distribute the cake.
You see, the difference here is this. With the current president in power, we know his doors are wide open, and he doesn't even look at issues with those political alliances. Once you get to him and he's able to identify with the issues that you raise, irrespective of whether you are an MPP or an NDC, it gets done.
But that analogy defeats the whole thing you've been preaching here. That vote for an NDC because the NDC power. You're saying that the president.
Let me conclude. However, I am having a little challenge. Why are people in opposition today not taking advantage of who the current president is and begin to do something positive? For instance, may he so rest in peace, our brother who passed on here. The president launched a very important program, the apprenticeship program for the youth. and in other constituencies and districts and municipalities, they've been rolled out. Do you know what? When we came here and started visiting various youth groups and homes and all that, they have never been informed or told. Nobody came to even a radio station here to speak about that policy to them. And I was thinking that, oh, so hasn't your former member of parliament, at least, may he so rest in peace, while he was on, come around to talk to you about some of this and then show you, for instance.
Do you accept? Hold on. Do you accept that? Do you accept that the analogy that you've been waging? Because this morning you've been throwing this argument around that. Mr. Weaver, hold on.
No, let me
you
land.
have defeated your own argument.
I have not, because you see, I will not also wait until our people in opposition today realize who the current president is, how magnanimous he is, he's so receptive. Until they realize it, I'll continue to tell people that, look, vote for my party member to come and deliver on the goodies.
Okay, I hear.
If today they are only in parliament and staging the walkouts and it's as if that is the stock in trade and that is all that they do.
I get you. Please,
until when do you satisfy the needs of the people who have voted for you to go to parliament?
Thank you very much, Mr. Weber.
You see what I mean?
So that's Honorable Kobe. We're still at the Collation Center here. I will be bringing you all of the processes for you on the Joy News channel. Do stay.
And that is the latest from the Collation Center there at Akwatia. And yes, the debate is happening in the studio as well, as we await the Electoral Commission to announce the results there. And when they do, we'll bring it to you. We are now very close. We are anticipating that in the next, 40 minutes or so, we should get the Electoral Commission to give us a declaration of who has won. So you need to stay with us. And I want to bring in the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. He's joining me right now on Zoom. Haruna Mohammed, he's been in the constituency all day. I want to clarify a few things with him because I know the NPP, they have the final results already. And he must know that because the NDC, they have theirs. They've told us that they've won by 54%. Haruna, have you won or have you lost?
Per the CI 127, it is the Electoral Commission that will declare and indicate who has won the election. You can only provisionally announce results of constituencies or polling stations that you have certified. And in terms of results collation in this country, we in the NPP have demonstrated enough credentials in terms of results collation. We don't jump when we are not concluded. So I am telling you that at the party coalition office, we are putting our figures together, making sure that we have the confirmed results as we receive them on the pink sheets before we make any pronouncement.
But I also know, and just to confirm the point you make, that you have invested very heavily in speed and accuracy in collation of results. In fact, you have set the tone for this over the last 3 elections. Knowing you and knowing the NPP, you should know by now where you stand, even if you don't have the final 120 polling station results in. You're saying that you don't know that as of tonight, as of now at 20 past 9?
You see, when you talk about accuracy and the speed, you also talk about timeliness. Timeliness is very important. And for us, we are also tying this results collation to timeliness. So if the journey of the pink sheet does not tally with the timeliness, you cannot also jump because you have speed to make some announcement or pronouncement that you think that your data must support whatever you say. Certainly, yes, we have put together some certain figures, and we hope to get all the figures together and get this results
from what you have so far, where do you stand?
Well, there are provisional ones. We have always stayed away from using what we have been called and given, because that has been the standard when we set the standard in 2016.
Okay.
We frown on collation resource being called to give. Always make sure she's your pink sheet. We don't use somebody mentions the person confirms after and also pick the paper and confirm before an approval is made by the IT director. So it takes a longer process. Even though we have always worked with speed, but also the journey of the pink sheet, it also contributes to your final declaration or making certain provisions in terms of what you have garnered in the elections.
Where are your senior agents at the Collation Center in Akwatia?
I don't know. The CI 127 did not define senior agent. The CI 127 defines agent.
Well, so let me rephrase. Where are your agents at the Collation Center in Akwatia?
Thank you very much. We have the Eastern Regional Secretary in the room.
Okay.
The Eastern Regional Secretary of our party is in the room. And then the Nasara coordinator of our party is also in the room. And let me correct this misconception. Right from beginning, when we were asked to submit our agents for collation, we submitted the Eastern Regional Secretary and we submitted the Director of IT. 3 days to the elections, the Director of IT reported to the Director of Elections of his unavailability to be part. So a change was made and the Nasara coordinator was presented. We have a different strategy as to how we are going about the Akwatia by-election. And we are doing it homegrown. And that is why we are picking our agents from the region or from the constituency. But in this coalition, I challenge your reporter to get back in the room and ask for the Eastern Regional Secretary and the Eastern Regional Nasara Coordinator, who are representing us from onset 3 days before the elections, that we have done this particular selection.
In fact, just to confirm, he found one of them.
He found one of them. You should look for the other one, you will find him.
So on the ground. Are you still in the constituency yourself?
Ivan.
Are you still?
I am in the constituency.
Okay.
In the constituency.
And
yes, I'm very confident. Okay. I am very, very confident.
You're confident of what exactly?
Confident of winning the seat.
Okay. And does your candidate share your confidence?
Why not? There's no declaration.
Okay.
Is there any declaration? No. So we are very confident.
Okay.
Until declaration is done, you cannot say somebody has won elections.
Okay. So you're confident of winning? I believe we've lost his connection. But Gary, you have an intervention.
I'm seeing projections on your.
Yes.
These projections, I'm seeing 8,101.
10,000.
10,461. I don't know whether these projections are verifiable or they are accurate.
From the Collation Center, the Ultra Commission.
The Collation Center.
Yeah.
So you are reminding me of my beloved friend Kaba. When Kaba was here, and then I remember those times he said, if you go and bring Kakai Betes. Those times we had won election in 2016 into 2017. And we also celebrated the elections that we won in 2016 to 2017. So elections is won and is lost.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are from Electoral Commission. It means that we have lost the elections. That is all. I mean, nothing stopping you lost the elections.
A second, because I'll come to you.
You are saying this from Electoral Commission.
Yes.
But
this is not the final.
It is not from all 120.
Is it verified? Is it verified?
Yes, this is. This is from only 68.
From the various polling stations, and they have been signed by our agents?
This is from the Collation Center, yes. But it is not from all 120 polling stations. It is only from 68.
Has it been verified?
Yes.
So let us leave it. Because, when it comes to litigation, I am the same person to litigate the matters. That's what I'm saying. Has it been verified by Electoral Commission?
What we have now on your screen, yes, has been.
Yeah. So let's leave it as it is.
But you are the director of elections. When you check,
I'm the director of legal, not
director of
legal.
legal.
Yeah.
Pardon me, the director of legal.
Yeah. I'm not somebody that will direct in the MVP into a wrong path.
Okay.
If it's right, it is right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If you have lost, you have lost.
Okay. And when you check, what did you establish? You've lost?
From where? You are talking to the General Secretary. He's telling you he's on the ground.
Because...
And he's getting these figures for us.
All I'm saying is that...
All I'm saying is that these figures should be verifiable, so that we all know that this is from the Electoral Commission. And then we cannot accept that, EC has verified the figures, they are correct, they are accurate. We cannot pick from there, that is all.
You know,
Evans, you see, when somebody is running away from defeat, you must be able to tell. He says that declarations are made by the Electoral Commission. Perfect. Because the CI says so. But we were all in this country when Dr. Bawumia came out, long before the Electoral Commission declared and accepted to consider defeat. We were all in this country when Kufuor under Jake, you recall?
Yeah, I do.
Called the elections for the MPP.
With the right information.
And so when someone is running away from the outcome of an election, you must be able to tell. Okay?
I think the MPP is running away.
Running away.
The Deputy General Secretary is.
He's running away.
Gary is not shying away from admitting if the...
Well, Gary made a call, and Gary made a call, and I'm sure he's now appraised with the results. And then that person too was trying to run away and not giving him the full details of this thing. Now we've won these elections neat and dry.
It's a very unfair.
Now, but the fact is that
it's a very unfair election that you have won.
How is that unfair?
To the extent that, and this point should be made very clear. To the extent that I am Honorable Innocent Hussaini's clients.
Yeah.
Fighting for seats.
Oh, so you see, let me tell you where you are wrong.
I go and contest him.
Yeah.
Contest him on the same seat.
Yes.
When the case has not even ended.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I win him. So I knew that Honorable Hussaini was not popular on the ground. And I was popular on the ground. And at the end of the day,
so you see, when you said that, because you were a lawyer in the matter, I didn't want to argue with you because I saw that you were emotional. But let me set the record straight.
Don't argue me.
Bedun, our candidate.
When you're done, I have an update for you from the Electoral Commission.
So our candidate was the secretary.
So, just a second. Gary, just a second. I have the very latest for you. Very latest.
It's not going to argue.
Very latest. Hold on for me, gentlemen. So we currently have 117 polling station results from the Electoral Commission. The NDC candidate has 17,708 votes. The MPP candidate has 14,966. I just want to repeat for the benefit of our audience on radio, Joy 99.7 FM.
Yeah.
The NDC candidate, out of the 117, only 3 polling stations left to go. The NDC candidate currently has 17,708, and the MPP candidate has 14,966. And you can see the jubilation on your screen there from the NDC supporters who are excited that they've won. Now, the question to pose to Winston, and Winston is a mathematician, and so I need to pose it. Winston, if you give all 3 remaining polling stations to the MPP candidate, will he get close to 17,000?
Polling stations remaining. I know the largest polling station is about 700.
Yeah.
If the largest polling station is 700,
times 3.
And actually it's left with 2 because in the 2024 election there was a special vote polling station that made it 220.
Yeah.
So if you look at the margin now, which is about 2,800, if I were to give all the 700 votes, 100% voter turnout, and even said it was 3, it would take it to 2,100. It will still not be enough.
Okay.
Pause. I want to get reaction from the crowd there. I'll come to Gary because this is certified.
Let me react before you go.
Please forgive me. I need to do this. I'll come to.
Don't tell the windows out of my sales.
No, I want. Please hold on for me for a second. Let me bring in Nana Bwache. Nana Bwache, give us the reaction from this very latest result from the Collation Center.
Oh my God.
Would have our eyes on that place as well. I find it very difficult to even spot someone to speak to, but narrating what is happening is super excitement over here. Tell us. Obetmini akasa kakra. Abana ya kwakotono lawyer na mosu edin kunim. Ni gisema o.
Ni gisempa.
Adentia.
Efisa ne ani enhwe anim no yensa aka.
Na ahaye MPP NDC nyina stronghold omunyina win city in Prebebre. Eden na ma we yesronko.
Ne ma we yesronko ne say no obi adauto lawyer. Ba sese no akotiafo a kire say lawyer nso bedibia
Yeah, that's a part. And so that is another person saying that he's excited about lawyers' victory and that this, although being a seat for both MPP and NDC winning before, he thinks that lawyers' victory is going to bring development. Up him who are live on Joy News. Lawyer Kunim de Akwatia and then Sonkopa Naura ebetimi asesa ama Akwatia 4.
Oh, the Rika Yasadama with your damn Pokwame. The Tossons were the Asadama, the more thing, Emma IGP in Kuala, Lomba Juma, Sabana to be peaceful, Bibia and Sibia Ma. Lawyer, you you try that. Also, hear this street, Juma need this street. And see, Mr. Lawyer, you know, about Jim Babu, no. I know being a pagan, I said, Juma, no. Yapajuma, Yapo, you to know. I have been Juma, it's the top of my lawyer, no. The enemy say, and Papa, ya bonny by your brain. Lawyer, but I said, or didn't couldn't buy a bunch of Juma, you and what toy.
Yeah, better as a pass. So he's also saying that with the election of lawyer Bernard Bediako, the MDC's parliamentary candidate, going into parliament, a lot of development will be brought into Akwatia. He says that although a number of them are minors, what they want is real jobs and not galamsey. Okay, there's another man here.
You're from Alfred Logo. Yeah, boy, and yes, I'm good. Yeah, prepa. And it's your father, and yes, I'm good.
And it's not when it's a lawyer and couldn't be home.
You're the lawyer, we know. Over boy in Nam. Oh, Mr. Yeah, papa, as him do a but lawyer on Google, I'm saying in my head. Then you're never say Waba.
Now, ora, galamsey, na moya wa Kroma, say.
Yeah, papa, galamsey, you may pay galamsey.
Nasa galamsey, and now the papa.
W, and you say, Bia, and mine in Iron, and you say, young Quasa Sassi. The Yanni, I have feeling. Now, assassin so as I read until Odi bear 2 years, 3 years, assassin so you're fine. Then ye be, me be, Medalata or ye be no, on say assassin on Yashi.
One Casaya Galam say,
Minamaka control.
And I when it don't say Juma, yeah.
Manager, I know Mineska, I buy no vet, maybe I do know what Nano, and mining sector. And it's a mining sector, I need Juma. I tell you, be there, boy, until so far now, yeah, Jumana. I don't fast what the black buying. Sounds like na tranger bidi. I don't know my other bushina. And I say, be I and I just say, be I say, but put on your say. I didn't see any, I just said, sir, yeah, papa, as him do we near, the ya papa, lawyer to win any aji. And I say, be and this MPP, and then it's any aji. But then any aji say, ya papa now when any on one bano. The person send you about the lawyer. No, or be not you so Baba say or Baba high. Or high now, Baba high. No, or not you so Baba high. 4 years time, Yanni in the bio. The better Pamano. No, I call.
And so that is another supporter of the NDC's parliamentary candidate who's excited about his victory. We will take you to the streets here, and the celebration has taken another turn. And the other side of the street is bustling with so much excitement. A lot of people would want to even speak to us. They are volunteering themselves. But I want to go into the crowd where the celebration is ongoing, so that I have a feel of it. Right now, they are chanting to Nasir's Queen Queen song. And as addictive as that song is, I would want you to join me. Let's go to the street. Mama,
your mom will show down, man. Go be rich, me not make a say. Your mom will show down.
Why is so one casa terms their mom?
Your mom will show down. Show down on Omukano.
Okay, so he's saying that they've given the NPP a showdown. And so this is another part of the of the street where the celebration is happening. Here at the Bodia community in Akwatia, and the celebration is still ongoing. Ekunimdie na abama no eyani gisem
yani gisem payama will show down your trust unity ya will show down your charity ezu eza Akwatia all the way.
Yeah, that's a pa. So he's saying that they have cut the head of the elephant. That is a symbol of the new patriotic party. So that is Nasi's Queen song. You can hear over here, and they are here in their numbers celebrating with the Queen song, the popular NDC song, on the street of Bodia. When you're Japan,
but maybe there's one no one mention one monyan. Yeah, we are champion before say 2028. NDC still in the big keke. Yeah, poor yeah, sure one kasa. Oh, we are by a chest. I'm on the bedi. But on Yankopo, John Mama Yankopo, John Mama Yankopo, regional executive member.
Okay, so I have a regional executive here with me. She's also in a jubilant mood. When you have to pass our party, I didn't kunim. Wow. Now, lawyer, everybody who saw Baba Street is so.
Electoral Commission for declare we are Baba Street is.
Okay. And you to also do asa. So, the people of Akwatia, but they are on the streets jubilating in their numbers to their popular Honorable Warrior song. I don't know who they say this to, but that is the song that they are dancing to right now. The mood of a number of people from Bodia. When you're Japan and Katakakra, and couldn't be away, and then Ebe Kwama Akwatia for.
Akwatia for, and couldn't be away, and put to Kunim Dienepe. And Tinamia Adom, Bernard Bedia Kwaba, Akwatia for, Akwatia constituency, Adaroma, Yabenya Puntu, Nenya Koso. So, yeah, quite any your hospitals are and your marketing to be I am Cosina, yes, we have to Madaroma.
Yeah, that's a bar. And so he's also saying that victory has come and now it's time for development, and that's what they are going to focus on. I have one man here on a motorbike. As you say, lawyer and I have to say, ECB declares we need provisional results, no chance, honor or decline. And Yama Benamur animal said. Akwatia constituency no
lawyer no ono ofri aha enti enim se ye hia sem bia ono no betumi ayama ye bibia Akwatia man hia bia no lawyer betumi ayama ye wako school onimu di enu di na ya to abama no enti Akwatia de ye ni John Mahama ni lawyer ye wie bibia be koso pepepe. No problem.
That's it. And he's also saying that with the election of lawyer Bernard Bediako, which we are waiting for the EC to officially declare, though, he's saying that this means a lot to them. And as people of Akwatia, development is going to come into their constituency. He says that a lot of them are miners, and they're also expecting that their mining industry would expand and grow with the election.
And this is your election headquarters. We can now project that the NDC's candidate in the Akwatia by-election will be the next member of parliament elect for that constituency. We can project from our figures that we have collated from what our colleagues there are confirming for us, that he has swept this in the Akwatia by-election, winning this by at least 2,964 votes. And that is a significant margin indeed. And if just joining us and you are listening in on radio on Joy 99.7 FM, we're just joining our live coverage of the Akwatia by-election and the Joy News projection is that the NDC candidate in the Akwatia by-election will be the next Member of Parliament for the Akwatia constituency. This is a Joy News projection. He's won this by a margin of 2,964 votes. And let's put that in context, because the NPP candidate who won this in the 2024 elections won this by just over 2,000 votes. The NDC has overturned that and increased it by more than 800 votes. That is significant indeed. And he, Bernard Baidu, should be sworn in the next, few weeks as the next Member of Parliament for the Akwatia constituency. And that is a projection coming in from your election headquarters, as confirmed by the Electoral Commission on the ground. You see that on your screens there, another confirmation of that. The NDC's Bernard Baidu is a projected winner of today's by-election in Akwatia. And Gary Nemako is with me. Gary, your reaction to that?
Yeah, Evans. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I'm happy that my good brother, Honorable Nisa, is here. Can you sit down so that I can look at your face?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Do you know that the former MP, that is Honorable Ernest Yaokumi,
the late MP.
The late MP won with over 2,000 votes.
Yes.
And the same Bernard Baidu, lawyer for the then petitioner, was challenging the 2,000 vote in court to the extent that now we have by-elections. In fact, under normal circumstances, I would have said congratulations for winning over 2,000 votes. But he knew 2,000 votes, but never congratulated Honorable Ernest Yaokumi. Same as the MP. Same as the MP. So now, I must now look whether there were any infractions, irregularities, unsigned pink sheets, whatever there is to it. Look at the whole legal...
Are you preparing to go to court?
I am not saying I'm preparing to go to... I have to now call for the documentation on the Akwatia by-elections. Assess the whole situation, and then now I can make a determination whether or not, indeed, the elections is worth challenging or otherwise. Because the same character, the same lawyer, was the same person who was challenging the case on behalf of his clients in court.
Okay, you see.
In court.
You see.
Let's let him land in our
You don't have a strategy. That's why you are beating about it.
Mr. Fuseni, don't worry. I'll come to you.
Hold on. No, come back.
Okay, I'm coming back.
Come back. In court. Ordinarily, what I would have thought, when my late client had won the city with over 2,000 votes, when you know that parliamentary primaries or parliamentary elections is first past the post, which simply means that you must just win by one seat or one person, you have won. One person, you have won. It's not like presidential where you must win 50% plus one. 1%, just over one, you have won. However, they were challenging a seat won by over 2,000 votes. So how do I sit here and now say I'm going to admit that Bernard Baidu has won with over 2,000 something, and so therefore, if now I'm presented with...
But you just said the NPP had lost. If the NPP has lost, they've lost. Not long ago. So why the change in position all of a sudden?
Not that they've said they lost. Maybe there are infractions they are going to present to me. Because I'm sitting here, I'm getting messages on my phone.
What are
of infractions?
Of infractions, which I'm here to assess. And so therefore, I should not be too quick to determine or make a determination. The reason is simple. If these infractions come to me and I make the assessment and I determine that they are frivolous, they are vexatious, they have no merit in it, I would inform the party that, please, these ones, I have overruled them and so be it.
In your capacity as the director of legal?
Yes. And Honorable knows that he knows me and what I can do. There are a lot of things I've done and I do it on a quiet. It doesn't come out. I talk less. I talk very less.
On this platform, you have not spoken less.
No, because on this platform.
Let me tell you. Because he's bitter because we have won.
Oh no.
But you see, he's bitter, but we have won because we won because you didn't have a strategy. And Bedu, let me tell you now that Bedu, now that we have won, let me tell you, Bedu was our constituency secretary. NDC, it is not the former candidate of the NDC who hired Bedu as a lawyer. Bedu as a lawyer. Bedu was assigned by the party as a lawyer. That's why I say MPP, they don't have the present default status of MPP is disarray.
Hold on. And we'll come to that. We'll come to
that. So let me tell you. So it's just bitter. And thirdly, you know, the jurisdiction Gary, of the court is not raised
to make his point.
It's not raised by speculation or hardcore facts, no speculation. So now that you are sitting on this platform and speculating that there might be infractions, does not raise the jurisdiction of a court in an election petition.
I'm getting messages.
For us, it's important for you to congratulate this man and to appreciate that we have a superior strategy, which you don't have. No. And that resulted in us presenting a candidate who has won the seat for us. Because we have a strategy. You don't have.
See, my good friend, Honorable Fuseni, you know that. There is a man that was...
How do you have a strategy of putting a Galamseya to go and contest elections?
Wait.
When everybody knows that he's destroying the
vote. That he's a Galamseya.
You see, there is a man who says he won the elections, who was in court way back in December, when there was no Gazette publication of the election results.
But you have just said you go to court without a Gazette. No. They have not even declared it.
Oh, please. Well, hold on.
But those are... It's a moot point now, isn't it?
No. Very moot. I said that he's now exhibiting his bitterness.
No, you said you can congratulate.
But the man has won.
Yeah.
No, you said congratulate him.
You're explaining why you can't congratulate him.
No, you see, I am having a difficulty to do so. Come back. What?
I won't come back.
Oh,
don't worry, I can see you.
Your bitterness is consuming you.
Speak to the audience.
The first time that my good brother is now trying to hide my face from the camera.
Your camera is this way.
See, the point I'm making is that there is somebody who has come to court who never brought any Gazette notification of results, and yet was relying on Dr. Basmasari's publication or news conference to say that there's a Gazette, and so therefore the results have been gazetted, and relied on that publication without any Gazette before a court, high court, a court of record, and yet to make an argument for an injunction, ex parte.
Yeah, and the court granted. That's all in the past. What has that got to do with the outcome tonight?
The point I'm making is that the same character who was doing all these things was pursuing his own interests, his personal interests. That's what I'm making.
Oh, no problem. I mean, you made the point. But that's fine.
That's your view.
But that's the situation. In all fairness,
I mean, he's won the elections. He'll be declared soon. There's a presumption of regularity until proving otherwise.
If he declared he has won, if he declared he has won
fairly and squarely,
based on the figures that we are
seeing from the electoral commission that are coming to you shortly,
then once they declare that he has won, I will duly congratulate him. But I'm receiving information on my messages from the director of elections.
What's the nature of the information?
There are infractions. I don't want to discuss it here now because I have to assess it within the nature of the remit of the law.
My brother, congratulate the man.
Okay.
And then see whether this
MP elect.
Please, Honorable. He has been to court with us for how many months, and even though we won, our candidate died in the process.
Am I sensing tit for tat here? You're simply going to drag this out in court against him to frustrate him.
They will throw his petition, if he files an election petition, they will throw it at his face.
I will assess every infraction brought to my attention on its merits. And he knows. Honorable Professor, he knows that I'm a very fair person. If it doesn't merit it, I would just say, no, I'm not going to merit it. I will throw it away.
Okay.
And I was says it.
But congratulations.
Okay, so hold on for me for a second, and let me come to.
Okay,
congratulations. Hold on, both of you, hold on. Good friends, hold on for me, Mr. Dankwa. So you had projected initially 47% for Bernard, and 42%, I believe, for the MPP candidate.
The committee.
And then there is 11% who were undecided. I believe the 11% may have decided now and swung this heavily in the favor of the NDC.
Yes, but if you look at the committed model that we published, we had 53% and 47% as the committed. That's modeling out those who are undecided. And we said that 53% for Beidou was the floor. That's the minimum he was going to get. Could be higher than that. And lo and behold, we've seen that he has done 54.7%, and that will reduce the 47 for Sumedu. So we were quite confident, but during the exit poll, it was a bit tricky in looking at the numbers that we were seeing, especially among the minority ethnic groups, which really gave me some kind of nerves. But then I realized that, look, these guys are people who normally are a bit economical with the truth when they are in the midst of when they are minority.
But we're telling you we're voting for the MPP candidate.
So that made the race too close to call. That's why I didn't project the outcome in the exit poll, waiting to see what the actual count is. But what gave me hope that NDC had won was that among their accounts, MPP was 50.5%, NDC 49.5%.
Yeah.
That is just
clear. The gap had narrowed.
There was no way they would win without having won the ethnic account. So
okay, I want to take you live because the Electoral Commission is about to declare now. Let's take you live to the Collation Center there, where the Electoral Commission, I believe, is ready to give us the formal declaration of results.
Going to declare would declare his name is Eric JV.
Officers from the Electoral Commission, security services, political party leaders here present, the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. By the grace of God, we are done collating the parliamentary results of Akwatia constituency by-election. Here are the vote cast. Solomon Asumedu had 15,235 votes. Bernard Bediakun Bedu of NDC had 18,199. Ousu Patrick LPG had 82 votes. I repeat, Asumedu Solomon, NPP, had 15,235. Bernard Bediakun Bedu, NDC, had 18,199. Ousu Patrick LPG had 82 votes. Total valid votes 33,516. Total rejected ballots 303. Total vote casts 33,819. With the figures mentioned so far, Director, with your permission, I, Eric Osu Jemfi, the returning officer of Akwatia constituency, declare Bernard Bediakun Bedu as the parliamentary candidate elect MP-elects for Akwatia constituency. Thank you very much.
So it's now confirmed.
In this crucial by-elections.
Okay, so yes, Ebenezer, this is how far the good Lord has brought us. You have said it all. The confidence has always been there. It is not just mere confidence out of nothing. It was born out of the good work we had done. After engaging the people, we read their reaction towards the message we gave them, and we saw that it had really imbibed. They gave us a hope, some hope of a sort, which hope has resulted to what we see today. I mean, we've always been very confident. I told you, I don't know whether I told you guys that we've been in this game for a while. If you are in it and you are losing, you will know, except maybe if you don't want to be honest yourself. I told you what we were working out at that moment I spoke to was with regards to the gap. But as for the win, what are we witnessing? We've won.
Okay, so do you think we had a lot in the lead up to this election. The NPP spoke quite greatly. At some point in time, the Vice President made certain claims. He said he shouldn't have been in the race, amongst many other things. When you were hearing all of this, what was going through your mind at that time?
For me, I've always said that, you see, when you are going to such contests, there are a lot of things you will hear. But I don't focus on tangentials. The focus is on the main ball. My focus is to have my message delivered, the people accept it, and then they take it up and work to make sure victory is delivered. Indeed, you see, some of these comments, if you are not careful, you'll be swayed by them, and then you go outside the main target and then be dealing with, well, let me put it this way, unnecessary stuff. Because you see, I shouldn't have been in the race as in what? I mean, that I was disqualified, or it was an illegality on my part or what. And so we've gone past that stage. Elections were held. We have the results. Sorry? Development. We've always said that, you see, Akwatia's name has always been with regards to mining. You can't take away the mining. Okay, we only have to do it lawfully. That's what we're going to work on. Where we are now is a GCD property. Hitherto, just before Dramani Mahama came to power, the place was in darkness. If you recall, we did the same collation here, and we had to put on some solar panels and all the lamps and all that. Today, and it wasn't because of the by-elections, it was even done before. Today, we have electricity. It is the first step towards getting GCD back on track, which can employ thousands of people. There are other things we are looking at. Essentially, it is about development, and we will make sure we deliver. Yes, we've made that promise. It didn't come from, it came from the president. And of course, it's a central government policy. And we need to remind them and then make sure that they do the needful. I'm grateful. We would have an opportunity to talk more about some of these things. We are grateful for the opportunity the people of Akwatia has given us. It is a clear mandate, and we would not take it for granted. We will make sure we give them the best of representation and serve them well. We are grateful for...
Thank you.
Okay.
That is.
You can talk.
Let's hear from you. We've seen it all play out now.
Projection was.
Talk to us about how it feels like. Is that what you got?
Well, that was what the exit poll projected, 53. But we said we're going to work and make sure that we get more than that.
Please, out. Bernard, out.
Please.
So, okay, so Rashid Tako Computer was asking that
yes.
The projection was 53, but you got 54.
Of course, we worked towards it. We told you that we are going to get 54%, more than that. That was projected. The projection was 53, but we finally got 54 plus. And you can look at the difference as projected.
There's no difference between our own coalition and that of the EC coalition. The same. It came to the same. No difference. That tells you that we are on top of issues, and you saw what happened. We have worked for it. We have a credible candidate, and we have good message, and the people bought our message. And then so we are not surprised. People thought we were just binding figures around, but the figures actually shows that we worked according to the figures that was given.
Are these votes organic?
Damn organic.
Are they organic?
Damn organic. I mean, you saw it. We worked for it. For the past 2 weeks, we've been crisscrossing the constituency, talking to the people, went to churches, mosques, and marketplaces to make sure that our messages go down to the people. And they bought the messages. They've seen the good work of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and they've returned the verdict. And they've joined the ruling party. Of course, who doesn't want to join the ruling party? They've seen it. I told you they rigged the election in the 2024 election. Today, the results has exposed it, that clearly MPP didn't win the election.
So what about allegations about the fact that you used some national security personnel to intimidate them, especially with the deployment of heavy police personnel there? It also indicates that is the reason why some of the people did not come out.
I'm happy you said allegations. It's an allegation, so we keep it as allegations. You saw what happened. It was the police who handled all the polling stations. Nobody was intimidated. Nobody was prevented from voting. People went out there. He's a director of special duty at National Security Secretariat. This election is a national security issue. You heard utterances from remnants of our opponent threatening hellfire, saying that there was going to be showdown between them and the police. And you think the national security should fold their arms? Then tomorrow, then you media will be asking that we arrest people so and so, like Howard Kumsin style. We didn't want to have any Howard Kumsin style here. And that is why there was a top-notch in terms of...
We didn't see any show of the NPP. In fact, they've not congratulated your candidates. There could be a legal showdown.
They signed the pink sheets. They signed the pink sheets. Their coalition agent was here with me.
Which means they've accepted the results?
Yes, they accepted the results. I can give you a copy. They've signed it. They've accepted it. In fact, they have graciously accepted defeat. And they've seen that the NDC deserves to win because we've worked for it. And the people realize that you don't vote for a party that will only deliver you press conference. You vote for a party that will bring you development, employment for your youth. And that is what we have done. And clearly, we have to give thumb up to the good people of Akwatia, executives of our party, led by our national chairman and the general secretary of the party. In fact, they've been here for the past week. They've not gone anywhere. Leadership of the party, all the executives, slept here, worked across the distance. So the victory is an organic victory. A victory for the...
From here, we go to Tamale. To what extent is the NDC willing to go? You have too many seats in parliament.
Only Tamale. We are going to Michael Bayfi constituency.
He says he's apologized and
we are not accepting it. Nobody's going to. No, we are not accepting the apology. He must resign. If he doesn't resign, Ghanaians will not take politicians serious. We must be serious. They must hold us to our words. Whatever comes out from my mouth, they must take me serious. I can't just stand here and make allegations, say certain things, and then within 24 hours, do you know that he came in here when we were about to start the collation, beaming smile, telling me that we were winning the thing, until I showed him on my phone that, my friend, you have lost the election, I'm coming to your constituency for by-election. Then he started perspiring. That's the time he got to know that things have changed.
I mean, don't you have too many seats in parliament? I mean, some are saying it will become a rubber stamp parliament if care is not taken.
The framers of the 1992 Constitution saw the need to put in what is known as Representation of the People Act. What does that mean? Representation. Every constituency must get a proper representation in parliament, not numbers. We are not talking about numbers. We are talking of representation. Who is to represent you in parliament? And that is why independent who can represent without political party. And so if a constituency deem it fit to have a candidate standing on the ticket of a political party, why not? Do you deny them that opportunity and say because we have numbers, so they shouldn't send such a person to represent them? Michael Bayfi will come to his constituency. We are going to test that one. So Ghanaians, now you go and cause trouble and apologize. Is that what we are saying? Honorable members, when you are called honorable everything of you must be honorable.
But the General Secretary I spoke to also says that some of your members, including members of Parliament and ministers, have made worse statements than that of Michael, and Ghanaians have not told them to resign from their positions.
I'm saying the gentleman made a categorical statement. I will resign. Let us go and test their strength in that constituency and see whether that's a strong hold of the MPP. That's why you could stand and say he will resign. He was here with us. We are going to hold him. If he doesn't resign, we will write to the Speaker of Parliament. And he must apologize in the floor of Parliament so that the whole public will see who he is, so that they know that certain activities of people like that should not be countenanced by Ghanaians. They must allow decency in our politics so that Ghanaians will respect us.
Thank you so much. And that's the Deputy Director of Elections for the National Democratic Congress. Obviously, he'll be acting in that capacity now, which gives us a sense of how authoritative his comments will be. Not a good day for the LPG, which has less votes than the entire spoils ballots for tonight. But the bigger victory is about the National Democratic Congress, which is now going home and knowing that Lawyer Bernard will definitely be returning or coming to Parliament for the very first time, and of course doing that on a ticket of the National Democratic Congress. We call it a night here from the Akwatia Collation Center, where we can confidently tell you that the National Democratic Congress has flipped the seat in a very dramatic style. Of course, not many were wishing that for the deceased MP, but now it is confirmed that the NDC will now be taking over from the late NS Kumi, who then had won the seat for the new Patriotic Party. From all of us here at the Collation Center, you can see lots of interactions happening. Probably let's see if we can chip in a few words from Mr. Jakpa. Good evening to you, sir. You're live on Join News. Rashid Tanko was just, okay, well, no comments from him. He doesn't want to make any comments, but of course, Jakpa is here, and you've all seen him. What a night it has been. And of course, we couldn't get any words from him, but that's all we can tell you about what's happening for now. Until then, of course, it will be the same story about an electoral victory and the expectation of the populace waiting to see what the next member of parliament will deliver for the Akwatia constituency. Blessed Sugan reporting for Joy News, Akwatia.
Thank you very much. Mr. Nankwa, put this victory in context for me.
It's a very massive one. If you look at the margin the NDC lost the last election with, officially, 2,060. So Bernard Bedi needed to claw that deficit of 2,000, which he did, and he added another 4,000 on top of that. That is a swing of about 6,000 votes. For Akwatia, that is massive.
Okay.
That is massive.
What is the significance of that for the NDC first and then for the MPP? What does it
gives
mean?
them chance to consolidate their position in that constituency.
That is NDC?
Yeah. And likely to retain it in 2028.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does it mean for the MPP?
They have to strategize, look at what they can do, what best can they do, who can they bring to really take the seat. This was an opportunity which they missed big time by giving them the wrong candidate. Because I believe if they had given them a better candidate, we would have seen a much closer race, much tighter race than we have seen now. Even Boedua, where the gentleman comes from.
So where it comes from, Boedua?
Yeah, it was shambolic performance, to say the least. So it means the guy was not even accepted by his own people. So a lot of work needs to be done by these political parties in selecting candidates. Before you push someone, especially when there's no election, even those unopposed things, you have to really do very good work to ensure that you're not digging the grave for your own self. For MPP, we've seen that in Akwatia.
Okay. Musa Namka, thank you very much. Musa will take leave of us now, and I'll come back to Gary. I'll come back to Inusa, and then I'll hear from Winston before we wrap up. But very, very quickly, let's get a reaction from the community. because they voted tonight. And before we end, we need to hear from them. Boachi Yado, my colleague, is on the streets of Akwatia tonight.
Yes, Evans, we are live from the Bodua streets here in the Akwatia constituency. And earlier, we gave you clear scenes from this particular street where a number of residents had besieged in jubilation, celebrating the victory of lawyer Bernard Bediako, the NDC's parliamentary candidate, who is now the member of parliament elect for the Akwatia constituency. And on the streets right now, we are waiting for lawyer Bediako and his team to make their grand entry to this place where they are going to have the jubilation party. That is what we are waiting for now. We are told that they are all at the Collation Center and making their way to this place, and we'll still have our eyes on that. But then you can see on the sideways of the street, a number of people, supporters from Akwatia, are here. They are celebrating. You can see one man here. I want to speak to him briefly. Eja, when you Japan victory, Akwatia NDC say I green, and then you hear any miracle enemy.
Mama, that's so. You're beyond say green. You can put to a chroma, input 20 in your chroma, and I'm showing you, Mama's ways honey now. That's the reason why we know the green, and everything has been possible for us.
Now you have the seat to yourself. You have taken it away from the NPP, so to say. What should the people of Akwatia expect from lawyer Bernard Bediako?
I'm telling the people of Akwatia to expect better things coming to the Akwatia constituency. And I'm showing them that with the help of President John Mahama, everything is going to be possible.
You are making a sign right now. Can you do that again for us to see?
Oh, we'll kill them one time.
What does that mean?
Oh, we are killing them one time.
And you've done that?
We've done that. But this election shows that they're all stealing us. And we prove to them that if we vote free and fair, we are going to win the election.
Thank you very much. We are seeing that you're already enjoying inside your car. And so that is an NDC member and his team members in the car enjoying Nasi's Kwenkwe, celebrating the victory of lawyer Bernard Bediako, the NDC's PC, who is now the member of parliament elect for the Akwatia constituency. And Evans, as I was saying earlier, on my left and my right, a number of people have gathered over here. They are all waiting for lawyer Bernard Bediako to come to the spot to begin with the jubilation. And then if possible, they can hear a word or two from him. This is Bodua, the streets of Akwatia. And let me speak to one party agent. You are a party agent for lawyer Bernard Bediako. Where you were, tell us, how was the result over there?
Of course, I also went to Wenchi.
Oh, you went to Wenchi?
Yes, I'm at the Wenchi Palace Square B. The results over there, I can choose to say, as for the NDC, we are okay with it because last year we got 34, but this recently one, MPP got 194, and NDC also got 74.
Which means you are appreciated.
Yes, which means we are appreciated. I can choose to say the both A and B, when you combine it to it, NDC get 150 votes from that sector. So,
lawyer is here. We have lawyer also. Okay, that is the NDC's parliamentary candidate. You see him. And then they are following him all the way to his residence. That was very brief, Evans. That was very, very brief. He just moved out of his vehicle just to wave the NDC supporters who've gathered over here. We have been told that he's made a stop. Let's try and see if we can catch up with lawyer Bernard Bediako, the NDC's parliamentary candidate, or the parliamentary candidate for the Akwatia constituency, the the MP elect for the constituency. Lawyer Bediako just made a very brief stop at Bodua, a very, very brief stop at Bodua, and the crowd are chasing him. Everybody is chasing him right now. They are all chasing him. We are also doing same. If we can spot him, then we get a word or two from lawyer Bediako. But that was very fast, Evans. And I can't even see his vehicle anymore. But then let's keep talking to his agent. It's, you know, now say, baby, I now no, now results, you know, the results were okay for you because you appreciated. We've seen lawyer swiftly moving. Where is he going now? Do you know where he's heading to?
Yeah, from here he's going to the place where the national chairman is. Okay. That's our the constituency chairman's house. Okay. Well, Chairman Bibi's house. From here, that's the place where our MP elect is going now. So if you don't mind, you can even take car. Then when you come to Akwatia, when you ask the place where our constituency chairman is, they will direct you to that area. So that you come there, then you see him. My name is Isaac Anaman. I am NDC National Communication Team member. And of course, I am a polling agent over here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And he has told us about where he was as polling agent at Wenchi. Although the numbers weren't good for them at Wenchi, they've been able to win the seat for the NDC. And we just saw lawyer Bediako briefly moving out of his car, waving at the supporters of the NDC who had gathered on the street of Bodria to join him in celebration. We're being told that he's going to the residence of the constituency chairman, and hopefully we would get to have lawyer Bernard Bediako come on the streets to join his people in celebration. And as I said earlier, Evans, if we go to the other edges of the streets, crowds well crowded because almost every party vehicle belonging to the NDC and every single V8 you see here is moving towards the direction that lawyer Bediako went to, and that is why this place is starting to get choked. It's starting to get choked. It was a very brief stop by lawyer Bediako, but the crowd had to chase him so that they get a feel of how it looks like to have a new member of parliament, if I'm to put it that way. And it was rather unfortunate that we did not get to hear from him, but then we are being told that he's going to see the constituency chairman and then get to interact with the people later. When you're Japan, say Madin Kunim.
See Madin Kunim. When you're Papa lawyer, I'll call parliament.
Now, lawyer, chairman, who no?
Papa, because she no father so because she
also because she lawyer.
Papa,
oh chairman who no?
Me who no? Many judge need ye go
Okay, and so they said that yes, they came to see lawyer Bediako. He was in white, and so they are also going to join him in celebration. The streets keeps bustling up. Well, about to know who want to say
about to know Equafampa. The manager bebre say I didn't kunim. Na everybody I can one boy. I didn't musu nyina in your anyajuma. I am me kojeda kwa boss.
That's it. And so Evans, the streets of Akwatia bustling up as the supporters of the NDC just saw their newly elected member of parliament walk through the street. This is the Bodria street. What is happening here? And we've painted a picture. So much jubilation on the streets of Bodria as they are all excited about the election of lawyer Bernard Bediako as their new member of parliament. Over to you.
And that there is my colleague, Akwatia Yadom, on the streets of Akwatia. In the studio with me still is Gary Nimako, who's the Director of Legal for the MPP. Minister Hussein is former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central and Winston Amwa. Gary, the die is cast now. The Electoral Commission has declared, ready to congratulate the NDC candidate.
Let my senior brother come back before I can talk. He's still, come back small.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah.
Let me say that subject to, and the subject is underlined, subject to the comments, complaints I'm receiving on my WhatsApp messages. I want to congratulate my younger brother, Bernard Bediako Bedu, for winning the Akwatia Seat. But let notice be said on him that I am going to investigate all the infractions sent to me I find merit in the infractions, then obviously there will be litigation after he has been gazetted by the Electoral Commission. And that notice, I believe he himself is aware that he has visited the same thing on my own client, NS Yabidiakon. May he so rest in peace. So I will investigate it in a very open, frank manner. And if I find merit in them, I will pursue it in court. If I don't find any merit in them, I will abandon it. I will not do any personal vendetta as the way they did it their own. To the extent that when they realized that even NS Yabidiakun won over 2,000 votes, they were still pursuing him. He was gazetted by the Electoral Commission. They were still pursuing him. I don't know how they were going to overturn it. To the extent that Supreme Court even had to quash contempt proceedings against the gentleman. They were still pursuing him in the criminal proceedings at the CID. That notwithstanding, I still congratulate him as a sportsperson and as somebody who is a very fair-minded character. I think he won for election. He has won.
Let's talk about the bigger picture. What does this mean for your party? Musa Damka makes the point that this obviously is a further confirmation that your party is in disarray. And considering the fact that he had taken clawback 6,000 votes in total, that is quite significant, isn't it?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. See, every election, the dynamics are different dynamics. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. What I don't believe so is that, you see, for instance, Black Manoff, people didn't even go and vote because of security and insecurity in the area. Here in Akwatia, the security presence also prevent people from voting. So they don't go and vote. We were intimidated. They don't go and vote.
Yeah, we have here only 33,000.
Who didn't vote?
33,819 voted out of a total voter population of 52,000.
Exactly. So you see, for me, and now I'm going to have a discussion with the Constitutional Committee review. I think that they have to seriously reconsider this by-election thing and revoke it in the Constitution.
So that
a party that is already in Parliament will have the opportunity to replace a member who has resigned, a member who has died, a member who for some reason doesn't want to be part of the party again. The party will do its internal primaries and replace the person
in
in
curiosity,
Parliament.
would you have suggested this if you had won this?
Say it again?
Would you have suggested the same if you had won this?
Yes.
Still?
Yes.
Even if you won this, you would have suggested the same?
Yes, because at the end of the day, because, you see, for instance, we say Tamale Central will not even go. In memory of my own brother and my junior at the university, Mutala Mohammed, doctor. I remember very well Mutala came to the University of Ghana. He was very activist in Legon Hall. And I knew how enthusiastic Mutala was, so activist. I knew how he was doing his business. And I said, Mutala, you're going to be a politician one day. He said, oh, senior. I said, yes. And lo and behold, he rose through the ranks and became a minister in this country. And then he dies. And then the party says they're going to contest Mutala.
But how do you recover from this, though? I mean, because the optics aren't good. The signaling that 2024 was a disaster. 8 months on, you are still limping. In fact, it's worse now, as far as Akwatia is concerned, than it was in 2024.
When Mama lost elections, in fact, I'm telling you, there have been times that MPP has said that NDC was going to be in limbo, they will never recover. We were in this country. Look, October 30, I'm 50 years. So I've lived enough in this country to know what has happened in this country. All right? We said the NDC will never recover. But what happened? NDC recovered. And Mama came back and now won elections and now is the president of the Republic of Ghana. So please, let no one delude himself that, because we are now in a turbulent situation, MPP is down.
So you agree you are in turmoil as you speak?
Of course. I mean, nobody will tell you that a party that has gone for election and got 38% or whatever, 41% is not in turmoil. We are in turmoil. It never happened before. And you have to admit it.
And you think that after 8 years, 8 months, you would have begun to see some fixing of the problem?
Even in politics, what do you need in politics? is sober reflection. You see, when I was in the seminary, as a Hebrew seminary, there were times that we go into what they call recollection. Recollection is a period that you sit down to go back into your life, your own life. You sit down and then see whether what you have gone through, what you have been through, it was right, it was wrong, and you correct your own mistakes. A life without recollection is no life. So if you think that, oh, you are all too knowing, you know everything, then you are making a big mistake. I'm telling you, the party made mistakes. The party ought to sit down, come out and say, look, we made these mistakes, we are sorry. Ghanaians, forgive us. Let's correct these our mistakes and move on. And be humble enough to approach Ghanaian people with that sobriety and that humility.
A final question on that. 8 months on, the evidence tonight suggests that the people, at least in Akwatia, they don't believe that you've begun on this journey of sobriety. In fact, they punished you even more compared to the 2024 elections in Akwatia.
But you realize that some even didn't vote in this election as well. Some didn't vote in this election as well.
That's true.
The same way it was reflecting in the general elections, where people didn't come out to vote.
Let me ask you, because you're from the party, do you honestly think the 8 months you've had so far, you have taken advantage of that to begin the internal reflections, and you're back? Now, you should be back on the path to recovery. Are you there yet? Are you satisfied with what the party has done so far?
I think that in politics, a day is even very, very important. I don't think that we are there yet.
Okay.
I think that we are still on course.
Inusa, for the NDC, you have not only a supermajority, you have more to spare. I mean, Tamale Central is a foregone conclusion. You are going to have 185 seats. This is unprecedented. You can go to bed, and this will just manifest itself in terms of a victory in 2028. Ghanaians just love you.
So we went into the elections with a clear view on what we want the people of Ghana to remember us for. As a party that is focused, disciplined, and with a vision. We went into Akwatia with a strategy. And you must be asking yourself why our candidate, a lawyer, contested against a galamsey or a miner. We deliberately chose somebody who will resonate with the people to stand in Akwatia. So if a party is bereft of strategy, that's what happens to them in an election, in a by-election. Now, we also knew that even though we've won Akwatia 4 times, we had to come out with a message that would connect with the people. And we did that. The 100, we now have 100, about 185, but in total we have 189 seats in Parliament, because all the independent candidates are sitting, independent MPs are sitting with us. We do not intend to misuse our strength in Parliament. We promise the people of this country good governance. We will ensure that we push our policies through. We will not muscle out MPP, but we will always, when the opportunity presents itself, demonstrate to the people of this country that we are a party that is interested in their welfare. So we will contest any by-election that comes. You see, if we had lost this by-election, the narrative would have been different. So we knew that. We knew that. And so that's why we went into the election full force. Now, NDC, and it's exactly the same thing that animated the 2024 elections. A party that loses an election, or a party that is coming from opposition into government, ought to put certain things in place to assure the people of this country that when they are given the mandate to rule, they will do things in a certain way. I don't see that in MPP. I've said it and I'm saying it again. The default status of MPP today is disarray. That they appear not to have come to terms with what caused their catastrophic defeat in the 2024 elections.
In fact, many could say today was the first test of whether or not they're beginning to steer back to the track of recovery.
But the signs were clear, were very clear in the early days. And as Kumbin dies, so he's out of the equation. What considerations went into choosing Yadom as their candidate? Or what is the name of that guy?
Asumedu.
Asumedu as their candidate. Look, as a dispassionate political observer of what is happening in MPP, it was one group of MPP still showing their dominance in the party, imposing a candidate on the party.
I don't think so.
On the basis of consensus. Because, you see, do you think that MPP has no candidate in Akwatia?
Hold on.
Listen to me. If you want to come back, I mean, what you said about recollection, we say it in Islam as reflection.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, you must sit down.
From the briefing I received,
Just a second.
the thing was that they met in this Eastern region and they all agreed on this candidate. That's the briefing I received.
Okay.
So when we say that they went and put the candidates...
So that's what makes the point about consensus.
So you meet in Eastern region and you agree that you are going to present Asumedu.
Yes.
On what basis? Is it on the basis of his popularity?
All the candidates agreeing.
Well, you see, all the candidates agreeing is not strategy. Yeah. All candidates agreeing that they will put a candidate who will not win the election.
There's only
is that
one
a strategy? Is that a strategy for
There's
a party?
only one ultimate evidence, which is the outcome.
The outcome. You can't agree that you're going to lose. So your party agreed that they were going into the elections to lose.
Anyway, I think that...
so you see, again, even Gary Namaku's answer vindicates what we are saying. He doesn't give us evidence of what went into that agreement. The popularity, the status of that person within the party, the likability, and even a departure. In what we have seen in Akwatia, there has been a departure by their party from their convention of electing their parliamentary candidate from Wenchi, which is their stronghold. So again, default strategy. They lost even turnout in Wenchi. Because that's your traditional stronghold. So clearly, you see, don't say that you stop. I won't stop. I say that your party, we are satisfied, totally satisfied. And look, he's a lawyer. When we started as a party, MPP used to call us veranda boys. You remember?
No, you call yourself veranda boys.
You called yourself veranda boys.
No, we formed a club, veranda boys.
Exactly.
We formed a club, veranda boys.
That's why I say.
And then MPP said, all of us were veranda boys.
And girls.
And girls. Today, we present a lawyer as our candidate for Akwatia against a galamseya or a miner, a small-scale miner.
Okay. You see, let me hear from you finally on
this. Yes, Evans, but you see, the NPP too would have done that. I am not privy to the kind of analysis they may have done. But, you know, in Akwatia, from 2000, as I remember, you know, Amase is the one with the best performance. But you see, Amase, even when she went to Parliament, people would mock her.
Yeah.
But you see, this is where...
Amase is the Simpson.
The hairdresser.
The hairdresser.
But this is where the NPP probably could have seen something. When Ernest Yakumi showed up, and Gary, you know, when Ernest Yakumi showed up first, even though he had not, you know, gone to the law, so there were those who called him lawyer.
Yeah.
And I've known him even before he showed up in Akwatia. So I know those who were calling him lawyer.
You call him as empire and all the networks.
Yeah, lawyer.
But you know, he passed the law school.
Yes.
Posthumously.
Yeah, but the way the way he was then able to beat Amase in the primaries would give you a signal of how things were beginning to change in Akwatia.
Yeah.
So that would have probably told the NPP, okay, how about you continue there? But also, look, again, I do not have, but I'm looking at it from this way, and qualitatively, based on my own analysis, I'd say the NPP could have said, no, let's get somebody to go and match the NDC. What is it that they did? Was it the case that, and this is somebody, Asumedu, and you hear the people saying, oh, he's been helping the people, you know, I spoke to some of my NDC friends who said, oh, the guy has been helping, the people like him, the young men like him, you know, and all of that. So you're probably thinking, push him into the race, who knows, he could do the job for you. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Look, strategy, sometimes people take a gamble. Yeah. It doesn't work.
But here's the thing, Wings, this is a big question, and we'll wrap up on that. This is a party that wants us to believe they are in the rebuilding phase. However, we're now learning they're repeating the mistakes that led them to the ditch in 2024. 8 months after the defeat, everything else that went wrong in 2024 is repeated in Akwatia. What do you read into that?
You see, Evans, and that's why I make the point. Look,
I mean, this was their first opportunity to show us that they understand why they lost. And they're going to apply all the lessons in Akwatia to turn this around. And they haven't.
The thing about a by-election, Evans, the difficulty of a by-election, if you are an opposition party having lost an election, is the likelihood that you lose that by-election, unless it's a safe seat for you. Even in safe seats, governments are able to take it. Look, I'll give you a typical example. I use the Bimbila case. Alaji Yunus Afuseni here knows. He knows that in the past, those times, Gukpegu Sabongira, 1996.
Yeah.
Look, you know, Honorable Yunus Afuseni, that a lot of the dynamics in Dagbon were post-2002.
Yes. It changed.
Watch this.
The dynamics, yeah.
So in elections, a lot of things would happen. So sometimes you go into it, and in post-2002, a lot of things changed in Dagbon.
But Winston, you didn't complete Bimbila. Let me tell you what.
Let's wrap up with you.
Okay.
Second, wrap up with you. We just have a minute to wrap up.
Let me tell you, Bimbila,
so that I can.
That was when MPP had thinkers.
Yes.
That was when MPP had strategy.
But you also.
Let me come. Nituwul was not MPP. Okay. Was not MPP. Nituwul had contested the elections on the ticket of PNC. But when Chambers went to ECOWAS and the by-election was called, there was thinking within the MPP. So they did they looked at the dynamics of the constituency and thought that they needed a particular person or somebody from a particular ethnic group to be able to snatch the constituency.
Okay. So they went for Nituwul.
That is strategy.
Now, the point I was wrap up for me. Yeah, just make that point.
That is strategy. But what strategy did they employ?
No, what's the wrap up?
The point I was making in Bimbila was that when Nituwul went to Dan Boche in 2002,
yes,
to say that you needed Nituwul to contest the election,
yeah,
he asked him, who is this boy?
Yeah.
When the PNC and CPP had then selected Nituwul to contest on a joint this thing, then he realized and brought him to the MPP fold. But then I make a point.
Yeah.
The campaign strategy of Nituwul in 2004, post that by-election, made him lose the elections. He came back and ran a certain campaign in 2008, which you know, I'm not going to repeat that here, and that's made him. So
okay,
the point I'm making, Evans, is that look, sometimes you go into an election believing, and I make the Nituwul point that Ibn Chambers, NDC, the MPP was able to take that seat.
Yeah.
In Woolensey, they took it. Yeah. Also because they had incumbency advantage. Yeah. Today, the NPP may think that, they're going into this race believing that Asumedu may have done the magic for them. They also didn't want to go into a primaries because of even the challenges within the Akwatia constituency itself.
You manage the challenges.
And that is how come they felt that selecting this guy, this is a gamble gone bad. The strategy,
you don't bet on the altar against you.
Where I think the strategy didn't work,
yes,
is that when the NPP realized that the NDC was promising development, sympathy alone couldn't do the trick.
Okay, so what does that leave the MPP?
Well, I mean, they're still in a rebuilding process. Look, the NDC post-2000 lost all the by-elections in the first term of J.A. Kufuor. I do not see NPP winning any by-election in a swing constituency, in the scheme of things. The NDC still has the goodwill. And so the MPP would struggle in by-elections. If they put their act together, post the 31st January 2026, after the selection of a flag bearer, they must now begin to do proper introspection and go back to their roots. Enough of the choboi that brought them to power between 2016 and 2020. They must go back to their roots.
And that's his Wednesday. And thank you, Enusa. Thank you, Gary, and all those who join us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. This has been your election headquarters.